your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, it's game day. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. as we hope the Kings take us to victory out there in Denver. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us on a Wednesday. I don't know about y'all, but this week is kind of flying by. Maybe I just jinxed it, but I woke up this morning not even realizing that it was Wednesday, and that's always a good feeling. The worst is the opposite, where you think it's Thursday and it's actually Wednesday, or even worse, Tuesday. But we had a lot of fun yesterday. Shout out again to Daniel Garcia, who's got a huge match tonight. If you're going to be in the building at the Sacramento Auditorium, that is going to be great stuff. And if you're going to be there, be sure to tag us, show us the pictures, AEW, getting it done, and maybe I'll slide through. I'm kidding. I got to babysit. Is it babysitting if it's your own kid? I think it's just called parenting.
That makes it sound like you don't watch your kid very often.
When you're alone.
If the one night you have to watch your kid is considered babysitting, I think your wife is doing a lot more of the watching of the kid.
Well, no, it's specifically when you're alone. And hopefully the Kings won't be alone without Malik Monk, as he is questionable. We have no clue. Throughout this show, we're going to figure out what this game is going to look like, because the injury report is an absolute mess. The one thing we do know is no Domantas Sabonis. He will be out dealing with that hamstring. And a lot of people were talking about the game a couple days ago where Domantas Sabonis appeared to use someone's arm, shoulder as leverage to get up. I don't know. I'm not making too much of that. A lot of people like to mess around, and, I do stuff like that all the time. Help me up, these old bones. So I'm not sure if his hamstring is that bad that he needs help getting up, then that's a problem. But I think he was just messing around. We will see, and like we said, we will get an update for Domantas Sabonis. We're getting close here, about 4 days away. It was March 9th would be a week from when the Kings put out that initial presser and initial release on Domantas Sabonis. So we will see what happens there. But as far as tonight is concerned, as I mentioned, Malik Monk, great reporting as always from our guy, Sean Cunningham. Malik Monk is listed as questionable when the Kings conclude their road trip in Denver. He suffered a right toe sprain last night in Dallas. And of course, Domantas Sabonis still out.
Here's Sean Cunningham.
Yep.
Who? I don't know.
This is from the Denver Nuggets, though, as they try to one-up. And this is what we talked about on these road trips. Yes, some of these games are going to look really tough, right? But you still have to figure out who's actually on the court. Last night, Warriors coming off a back-to-back, Steph Curry questionable. He ends up playing. Who doesn't end up playing for the Knicks? Yeah, their second top scorer in Karl-Anthony Towns. So a terrible back-to-back for the Warriors, or not say terrible, but Hornets and then Knicks. All of a sudden, they get a gift in Karl-Anthony Towns not playing due to personal reasons. We hope everything's okay. So if you look at the Nuggets today, oh, man, the Kings got to go here, here, and here. Now, I get it. The Kings don't have Domantas Sabonis, but Aaron Gordon questionable. Zeke Naji questionable. Conchar questionable. Peyton Watson questionable. And Nikola Jokic is questionable with left ankle inflammation. Who's out? Deron Holmes, of course, with that Achilles. And my guy, Julian Strawther. This is the one thing that can be a benefit of, dare I say, being a bit disrespectful. Do we think if they were facing the Thunder tonight, I don't know if Jokic is going to play or not, but do we think Jokic, let's assume he doesn't play, do we think he would have sat against the Thunder? Do we think he would have sat against the Lakers, against the Grizzlies, right? I don't think so. So this is actually one of the pros from when teams kind of sleep on you. Not to say that the Nuggets are being disrespectful, and Jokic might play, but it's, we got Sacramento coming to Denver.
They've had 3 days off, and now he's a late add to the injury report.
Yeah, they've had 3 days off. Sacramento doesn't have Sabonis. If we're going to pick a time for Jokic to get some rest, today is probably the day. So I have no clue if he actually plays or not. Or do you say, hey, we got to make sure we take care of business? Funny enough, you know what's interesting when you look at how teams view other teams? Even though the Suns are a mess and they had a great win last night as they come back against the Clippers. I thought the game was over. They were down by 20, and they scratched and clawed and actually helped out the Kings a little bit and the rest of that group to get the Clippers another loss. If you look at this, would you say, specifically without Domantas Sabonis, the Nuggets have the Kings today and the Suns on Friday? Do we feel like teams out there would be more concerned with playing a Kings team without Domantas Sabonis or a free-falling Suns team? Because I definitely think that if the roles were reversed and they had the Suns, maybe because the Suns have been free-falling, maybe Jokic doesn't play. I think there's a good chance that he does. It's Kevin Durant. It's still Kevin Durant. It's still Devin Booker.
They just won yesterday.
Against
the Clippers.
Right. But you got the Kings with no Domantas Sabonis. Go ahead. And I'm not saying I'm not salty about it. Go ahead, Jokic. Get your rest in. Let DeAndre Jordan, who, yes, is still in the league, let DeAndre Jordan get some reps there. Kyle, this is very interesting. So think about this as it pertains to getting a rest, okay? The Nuggets are in the middle of a very rough stretch. They lost to the Bucks. That was last Thursday, okay? They had a back-to-back with the Bucks and Pistons. They lose to the Bucks. They beat the Pistons. They lose to the Celtics on Sunday. Today they have the Kings. After that, they host the Suns. They go to OKC on Sunday. They have a back-to-back on the road, OKC Sunday and Monday. Then they host the Timberwolves, and then they host the Lakers. So they're looking around thinking, you know what? Let's maybe rest Jokic and then go into the weekend feeling much better about things. But maybe he plays tonight. I don't know.
I guess it just depends on what the nature of Jokic's injury is. If it's just like, oh, my ankle's sore, then right. I guess so. If he's got like an actual ankle injury, I mean, the Nuggets would like playoff positioning, but they can't afford to shut it down at this point. They're going to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference. This is the fine line that teams are trying to figure out as you get to the end of the season. Because last year, didn't all we complain about was everyone's stars are hurt, and the Celtics ran through the East because they played only hurt teams, and then they got to the finals and they beat a hurt team. So I don't know. This is the weird fine line teams are running with at this point. But I'm going to guess Jokic probably does have an ankle injury, and it's probably not that bad considering it was a late addition, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, left ankle inflammation. So you're the Nuggets, and you're looking at what's up next. Again, the Kings are higher in the standings than the Suns, but it's KD. And on any given night, they can figure it out. We've been waiting for 2 years, but on any given night, they can figure it out. So you have the Kings tonight. Then after that, you get the Suns, the Thunder twice, the Timberwolves, and the Lakers going up to March 14th. And then it gets a little bit easier for the Nuggets. Well, actually, after they get a little break against the Wizards, then they have the Warriors and the Lakers again. So they might be thinking, if there is a time to rest Jokic, he's already got a couple days, let's give him one more, or he plays tonight. And this whole thing is a moot point. So we will see what happens there. Aaron Gordon has been out also. And on the Kings side of things, as far as Malik Monk is concerned, I'm not really sure how worried I am. You're already missing Domantas Sabonis, right? But so that's the biggest hit. In terms of handling the basketball, if Malik Monk can't go today, I think Keon Ellis starts. I don't think there's a question mark there. How much Markelle Fultz? We will get, for those that have been wanting to see a good bit of Markelle Fultz, I would imagine we see Markelle Fultz in the Keon minutes, and we see Keon in some version of the Malik Monk minutes. So we'll get the Markelle Fultz experience tonight if Malik Monk can't go. And that's one of those ones where you start thinking back to the game. Do I remember seeing something, or what actually went on there? Those toe sprains. It's a right toe sprain for Malik. Am I tripping, or has Malik had a toe sprain? I feel like he not always, but he can have some foot stuff. A foot sprain, a toe sprain.
A what?
he can have some foot stuff going on. So Malik, right toe sprain.
The big injury was ankle earlier this year. If he has had a toe injury, he hasn't missed any games due to it yet.
Okay, and I don't feel like Malik's going to miss tonight. Who knows what's going to happen? I know Malik, all these guys, I shouldn't say all these guys, but a lot of these guys, it's hard to pull them off the court. So I would still be pretty surprised if Malik doesn't play. But, that those toe sprains, they'll get you.
All right, so here I have the complete career injury list for Malik Monk. And I'm just going to start from when he gets to the Kings, because otherwise it's going to be way too long. In his time with the Sacramento Kings, Malik Monk has had wrist, right shoulder, leg, ankle, leg, lower leg, foot, MCL sprain. Well, foot is different than toe.
Foot, toe, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Foot, MCL sprain, which was obviously the big one last year. Knee, ankle, groin, and toe.
Okay. So pretty evenly dispersed, but, you do got some feet in there.
Mostly across the legs,
yes,
I would say.
A lot of leg stuff.
He's got leg, ankle, leg, lower leg specifically,
right.
2 foots, an MCL sprain, another ankle, a groin, which I think is different than the other groin, and toe.
Okay, well, there you have it. And if you are let's look at this from the Kings side of things. You are 3-0 on the road trip. It's a game in altitude. And I don't know how this works if you're able to play the game of chicken. You're already down Sabonis, but if some combination of Jokic and Aaron Gordon don't play, do you say, you know what? We got 3 wins. We're in the altitude. It's the Nuggets. We're going to need Malik Monk. So let's go ahead and let Malik continue to rest. If we lose this game, hey, all of us would be happy. Nobody saw 3-1 happening on this road trip. So let's just get on out of Dodge and get Malik right, because we have that crazy home stretch coming up. So who knows what will happen with Jokic, Aaron Gordon, or Malik Monk. Hopefully we'll know more towards the end of the show, but obviously the Drive guys starting at 2 will get even more information for you. Either way, it would be really, really nice to walk away with a 4-0 road trip. On the other side, let's do some pocket watching from last night. It was a great night for the Kings, and right now they're in the play-in, but they're in the high part of the play-in, and all it takes is one to get into those playoffs. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
We have a fun conversation a little later in the show about cursed franchises and whether or not the Mavericks are already cursed and will they be cursed. I actually did a deep dive on the curse of Bambino. Obviously, everyone knows the gist of the curse, but I did a little bit of research on how the curse actually went down, and it is eerily similar to what's going on with the Mavericks. I believe that the Red Sox, obviously different time, had a lot more success than the Mavericks have had. But it is funny coming off a finals appearance. They didn't win it, but a finals appearance. Obviously, they get the championship with Dirk. So we're going to have some fun with that as, a lot of people are saying, oh, could they get Cooper Flag? And if they did, then this curse probably isn't a thing. But something tells me the basketball gods won't let that happen.
That would be so stupid if it happens, because then you've got a dude in his mid-30s in Anthony Davis, a guy in his late 30s in Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen with Kyrie, and then a 19-year-old.
That's right. 916, I was joking when the show started because wifey is out of town, and I mistakenly said I am babysitting tonight, and Rancho Mice says that's not babysitting, that's parenting. So thank you, Rancho Mice. You are correct. It was
I don't know. The last time you had this situation, you dragged your mom in from 2 hours
It's only a night, so I don't have to do it this time. But if it was more than a night, then I would probably look. It's just, I'm giving time with grandma. They love that type of stuff.
They do, but your grandma lives 100 miles away.
No, it's not that far. All right, the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if you watched Jimmy Fallon at all, the Tonight Show, but they deserve a thank you note because the Phoenix Suns took care of business. And in a situation, again, I had the game on and I turned it off because they were down 20. It looked like a classic Phoenix Suns meltdown, or not even meltdown, beat down to start. And they found a way to get it done. You had Ivica Zubac dropping 35 points, which is insanity, by the way. But on the other side, Kevin Durant did his thing, playing 41 minutes, had 34 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And with that win, the Kings in sole possession of the 8th seed in the Western Conference. And like we said, look, at some point we can worry about the Suns. I'm not worried quite yet because, they have a really tough road ahead of them. Taking a look at the standings right now. Yeah, the Clippers, man, what a nightmare. So with that win and with that loss from the Clippers are now the 9 seed. From the 5 seed to the 9 seed over the course of about a month. I did not see. Now, obviously, it's not over yet. It's a half game, but from the 8th seed. But I did not see this. I thought, and they still could just get their classic 5 seed or at worst a 6 seed, but the Clippers hanging out in the 9 seed. And if you look at the playoffs right now, I might see, here's the thing. The Mavericks are just a body, right? So that 9-10 game is, no disrespect, but pretty pointless, especially if AD doesn't come back.
You would have to really mess something up.
Right. You would have to, or Max Christie just goes crazy, something random like that.
Well, we know it's not going to be that bum Klay Thompson.
Well, it's not going to be Klay. So any way you spin it, as the Warriors are enjoying themselves as they beat the Knicks in the 6th seed. So now, right now, if the playoffs were today, Warriors would be set. They'd have the Nuggets, which would be a really good matchup, by the way.
Woo.
But they would not be a part of the play-in. So the Kings would be going to Minnesota, all right? And the Clippers would be hosting the Mavericks, which basically means, Kings, please beat Minnesota. And if you lose to Minnesota, you got the Clippers coming to Sacramento, Kawhi, Harden, Ben Simmons. I don't know why I'm throwing him in that conversation.
You could have said Norman Powell.
No, I was going to say Norman Powell.
But instead, for some reason, you went Ben Simmons.
Norman Powell, Ben Simmons. So I don't really like any of these situations. If it's a winner take all in Sacramento, who would you rather face, Kyle? If this thing continues to flip, let's say Sacramento just stays solid in the 8th, they lose the first game. Winner go home, winner go to the playoffs, or win and go to the playoffs in Sacramento, in Golden One Center. Would you feel more comfortable against the Timberwolves or the Clippers?
That is a great question. Great question. I would go. Let's see, they've lost twice to the Clippers already, but I think those were both in the Mike Brown era. I would rather play. Wow. Can I go push?
No. No.
I guess Timberwolves, because tiebreaker goes to my guy Kawhi.
Yeah.
I don't want to face Kawhi in a 1-game winner-go-home situation. But Yeah, it's a coin toss for me. I guess I'll go Clippers.
It's pretty easy. Oh, so you're going Clippers?
I'm sorry. I'm saying I don't want to face the Clippers. I would rather face Minnesota on the hopes that the bad vibes are just going to spoil their season.
Yeah, it's not that tough for me. I would go Minnesota. I would rather face Minnesota than the Clippers. I don't know what it is about the Clippers and Kawhi. The Kings will lose to the Clippers without Kawhi. They've done it before. Ty Lue, it's just a bad matchup. I don't like it.
They're also a really good defensive team, which isn't to say Minnesota isn't, but I think Minnesota's great defense is a byproduct of any team that has Rudy Gobert in the middle is going to have great defensive numbers.
Yeah, the Zubac Domantas Sabonis matchup, I feel like Domantas Sabonis doesn't necessarily ball out against Zubac. I'd have to double check the numbers on that. But I would 1,000%, if it's winner take, hopefully you just win the first game and get in. But I would 1,000%, the Kings have beat the Timberwolves in multiple iterations, and they've been competitive. More importantly, they've been competitive with the Timberwolves every single game. There are multiple games dating back to last year. I know different roster, multiple games where the Kings have just not even been competitive against the Clippers in games with no Kawhi. I don't want to see the Clippers in win or go home. I'd rather see the Timberwolves, and it's that simple. I know Julius Randle kind of kills the Kings, but I just think that between Anthony Edwards and finding you put Keegan on Anthony Edwards, fine, Julius Randle does his thing, but and Naz Reid also kills the Kings, but he kills everyone. It's a tough question. Matchup wise, I don't even know if it makes sense. I'm just going based off of what the Kings have done against both teams.
I think the Clippers game on March 9th, and then I think they play maybe the last game of the season or the second to last game of the season. Those two games are going to be so fascinating because the Clippers look different now than they did when they played the Kings before, and the Kings are just a completely different team. The only time they played the Clippers was Mike Brown was the head coach. I don't even think De'Aaron Fox played in one of those games. So I'm really curious to just see what they look like, which I guess is why I'm choosing. And I know the Timberwolves were a matchup nightmare for the previous version of the Beam team, but I guess I just look at it now and I'm like, I will choose the known of I've seen this team beat the Timberwolves and I've seen them make this Timberwolves team look silly versus I have no idea because it's a completely different Clipper team and a completely different King team that are going to play now. I guess I'm just choosing the evil I know versus the evil I don't.
Well, we might be putting the cart before the horse because something might be happening in Phoenix. Not to say that they're going to win the whole thing, but there's something we need to discuss that might muck this whole thing up. We'll tell you what it is on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
As we all continue to hear scary ads about the IRS, Tax Relief Advocates is leading the way, showing U.S. taxpayers why they don't need to be afraid of the IRS. Whether you owe the IRS $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, TRA has a solution. With major tax relief initiatives currently in effect, we could reduce or even eliminate what you owe to the IRS, business or personal. Our experts know how to resolve tax problems and end all collections. TRA is America's highly rated tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star Google reviews. Don't wait. You may qualify for a significant tax debt reduction that can give you a fresh start, but you must call. For a free consultation and to check what tax relief you qualify for, Visit TRA.com or call our relief hotline at 800-335-8578. 800-335-8578. Again, that's 800-335-8578. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
One ticket, two huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Breaking down what could be, and we're getting close enough that we can have some fun with this. Who would you not want to see in a winner-go-home game out of the 4 teams that are in the mix? But something really just popped in my head as we were breaking this whole thing down, and I'm going to get to that and how this thing could shift in a moment's notice. The 916 says, come on, my guy, the Clippers aren't as good as you think. They just lost last night. They ain't playing nobody. I'm right below them. I don't know what that means. Might be a typo. We'll find out Sunday. Yeah, look, it's more about matchups. And Kyle, I know that Kyle, can you look up, because they're 0-2 this season against the Clippers, right? And they had a losing record, I believe, against the Clippers last season. Maybe they crawled to 500 at the end of the season when some dudes were missing. But fully loaded, I haven't seen it, 916. It's not a matter of being scared per se. If the Kings had been smacking the Clippers, I wouldn't feel like this. They keep losing to the Clippers.
Yeah, so the first time they played this year was that game where they shot like 20% from the 3-point line at Golden One Center. The next one, they lost by 16. I'm trying to remember. Someone, I think, was out. I think Malik maybe wasn't playing that game. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they got run out the building by the Clippers in the second one. Last year, they were... let's see here. 2-2 against the Clippers. And they're already down 0-2. So they can't even win the season series against the Clippers this year. The best they can do is split. The best they can do is split at this point, which I will give the 916 credit. Like, it's not, the Clippers offense is not really doing that well, but what is so interesting about them is that they are a great defensive team.
Yeah.
And that is really crazy considering they subtracted Paul George, regarded as a very good defensive player, and they've gone from 17th in defensive rating to 4th in defensive rating this year. So as much as you want to poo-poo the Clippers and they're struggling and all that stuff right now, the thing that they do really well is defend, and the thing the Kings do really well is score. So that's a very interesting matchup battle between the two teams.
As I said before the break, maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse because I'm looking at these standings, and there's something very, very obvious here, right? The Suns, who, again, can figure it out at a moment's notice. We've been waiting 2 years for that. The Suns are 3 games back of the Mavericks, okay? 3 games back. If it comes out that Anthony Davis is going to sit the rest of the season because the Mavericks aren't doing anything, and there's no point putting more miles on his body with Kyrie being out. The Suns, I just think, and there was that whole situation with Budenholzer and KD when KD pulled his arm away. I just think there is really no possible way. I know the Suns have a really tough schedule, but now you're chasing something. If the Mavericks, if all four teams were kind of cooking here, and and you could throw the Warriors in that mix as well, that'd be different. The Suns have one specific goal. Hey guys, Anthony Davis, assuming Anthony Davis does sit. Hey guys, Kyrie and Anthony Davis aren't playing. The Mavericks, who are middle of the road as far as their strength of schedule is concerned, all we got to do, we just did it, guys. If I'm Budenholzer, look at who we can be when we play to our true capability. We just beat the Clippers with Kawhi, with James Harden. We took care of business. All we got to do is win 4 games that we're not supposed to win. 4 games. Meanwhile, the Mavericks probably are going to continue to slip here. So now it turns into whoever that 9 seed is. And at that point, at 9, if they do, this to me, this is more about the Mavericks slipping. So I don't believe that the Suns can catch 9, but I do believe that the Suns will be able to catch the Mavericks because I think the Mavericks will just start to lose games. So now you're talking about those 4 teams, Warriors, Timberwolves, Kings, Clippers. You could be dealing with a fairly hot, fairly confident Suns team in win or go home. And as much as I'm never really been a believer in the Suns, once they started losing, a lot of us were high on the Suns going into the season. I definitely don't want that.
So here's where I'm struggling with the Suns turning it around kind of situation. Last week, we were looking at this like, or even as early as Monday, we were like, oh, hey, look at that. The Kings are set now. There's no way they're going to fall out of the 11, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel like that's pretty safe at this point, considering the Kings are essentially 5 games up on the Suns now.
Right.
But I don't think one Kyrie Irving injury changes the entire tone of that locker room, which is everyone just wants the season to be over.
Right.
Like everyone in Phoenix just wants this to be over.
I don't know, man.
I know Kevin Durant is always going to play hard and do what he can, but Budenholzer's...
You're telling me the Mavericks don't want their season to be over too?
Well, the Mavericks don't have... The Mavericks... If you took every available player on the Mavericks and every available player on the Suns, I think the Suns might have the 3 best players on the floor, which is fair. I think.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how you feel about Christie or PJ Washington at this point, but I just think the Suns might turn it around, but that doesn't mean they're going to go on a run as the 10 seed to be the first 10 seed to ever get to the playoffs.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't think if the Suns are able to catch the Mavericks, and like I said, the Mavericks continue to drop, so I don't think, because again, if the Suns quote-unquote just catch the Mavericks, then they've caught everyone, right? And I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Mavericks are going to start losing games, and the Suns will win enough for the 10 seed to be its own thing. I'm not saying the Suns are going to do anything past possibly win that first game. What I'm saying is in a one-game setting when this is their last dance with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, I don't want to see it. We saw it last season. I mean, I think Malik might have already been out by then, but I'd rather not see it.
I would rather see them versus any of the 3 teams we're talking about here, the T-Wolves, the Clippers, or the Warriors.
No.
I would rather see the Suns versus all those teams. But again, beating the Suns, in theory, won't get you into the playoffs. You are
right, and then you have to deal with...
You have to beat one of those teams no matter what, if you're going through the play-in, which the 6th seed is still within grasp, although the Warriors are really pulling away with that thing at this point. Mm-hmm. So I don't like their chance. Maybe the Rockets will keep sliding. Who knows? But if it comes down to you have to win 2 games to get in anyway, or... If you end up in the 7-8, you only have to win 1, but the Suns aren't going to get to 7-8. The only way you're going to face the Suns is 1 game for your season, at which point you will have either fallen to the 9 seed and you'll get to host that, or you've already lost to one of these other teams.
I think where you're going with the season, them wanting the season to be over, I think if you are correct in that, then I don't know that the Suns will catch the Mavericks. I think if they truly want it to be over, they won't catch the Mavericks.
I mean, Kevin Durant straight up said, like, they tried to trade me and I didn't want to go in the middle of the season. Windhorst has been saying, and everyone knows they're headed to a breakup. Like, this is it. Devin Booker, last week, we were playing our Haynes brief of Devin Booker saying, Budenholzer called me into his office and told me I talk too much. And now we're losing, and we go minute-long stretches without talking to each other. You mentioned Kevin Durant swatting at Budenholzer's hand and getting into an argument yesterday.
And he said it's because they both care.
A game they've won cannot exist without a controversy for the Suns. I think that, I mean, Bradley Beal might just get sent home at this point. Like, they might just send him home and say, collect your paycheck. The well is just so poisoned in that locker room that even if they get to the 10 seed, it's just going to be by default.
We'll see. They got it just like you said. Yeah, they face the Mavericks on Sunday. Before that, they have the Nuggets on Friday. So Suns at Nuggets, Suns at Mavericks. Then they get the Grizzlies, the Rockets, the Kings, the Lakers. Get a little bit of a break against the Raptors and the Bulls. Then the Cavs, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Bucks.
Oof.
The Celtics, the Knicks, the Warriors, the Thunder, the Spurs, and then hopefully it's not a preview of 9-10, but then it's Suns Kings to end the season, April 13th. So that's a mess for the Suns. I feel maybe a little bit better now.
So, but do you disagree with me saying that even if the Suns get to 10, I'd rather see them versus any of the other teams that we're fighting with?
I don't know, man.
Even the Timberwolves?
I might rather see the Timberwolves than the Suns.
Really?
I know.
Man, you really don't like Julius Randle.
That too. That's also true. You know, one thing that we keep on referring back to, and it's funny to play, like the strength of schedule is fun, but let's take yesterday, for example. The strength of schedule at the time, it can't tell you who's going to be available, right? So the Kings right now, sitting at number 2 on Tankathon as far as the remaining strength of schedule. They got 2 more games against the Nuggets. What Tankathon doesn't know is whether or not Jokic and Aaron Gordon are going to play or not, even though the Kings are missing Sabonis. So even though the Suns, when I just read all that off, it sounds like it's cooked. We still don't know what iterations of these teams are going to be. Let's take last night. Like I said, that was a huge win for the Golden State Warriors. Coming off a back-to-back, you got to go to Madison Square Garden. I know Steph hasn't lost there in a very long time, but what happened in New York, according to Tank, and that's what's tough about this. The Warriors are already 16th in strength of schedule, and part of that was because they still had the Knicks 2 times. Then what pops up yesterday? Karl-Anthony Towns out, personal reasons. So the Warriors got to see the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, cross-country road trip with no Cat.
Which, by the way, Cat might miss the road trip for the Knicks too, so the Kings might not get him either.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Warriors might get them again without Karl-Anthony Towns. So as much as we have fun with the strength of schedule thing, you truly never know who's going to be available, who's not going to be available night in, night out. And like we said, if you're just now joining us, Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon questionable for the Nuggets, along with Zeke Naji, Konchar, and Peyton Watson. Meanwhile, on the Kings side of things, Malik Monk, the right toe sprain, is questionable, along with Domantas Sabonis being out. So things can look really bad for the Suns. They can look really bad for the Sacramento Kings. Suns are number 1 in strength of schedule based on how tough it is at a 59 winning percentage, and the Kings are at number 2 with 55. So it really depends on night in, night out, who's available, who's this, who's that. Do you get to see the Celtics? I know Drew Holiday and Porzingis is another guy. We'll check in the playoffs, whether or not he's playing. But Drew Holiday hasn't been in. I have no clue. Will he be available when they come out to Sacramento? They're still the Celtics, but it just goes to my point. You never know what things are going to look like when it's actually time to play.
Flip it the other way. I mean, these teams with a easy strength of schedule are taking on the Kings, and it's supposed to be one of their harder games of the season. Well, You don't have Sabonis.
Don't have Sabonis.
So to flip it both directions. I think my point is the strength of schedule shouldn't be the end all be all. Like even the Warriors went from like 12th to 16th in one night just because they played the Knicks. What's weird about the strength of schedule this year is that because there's so few games left, anyone who plays the Cavs and OKC is going to have a super inflated strength of schedule, which is why if you look at all the teams at the top, Phoenix, the Kings, everyone else, they all have 3 games left against either OKC or Cleveland, which is hyperinflating your strength of schedule because those two teams are so far ahead. But it does just give you an idea of who has the hard games and who doesn't. Coming up in like 20 minutes, I put together the hardest and easiest games for some of these teams, and you'll kind of notice that trend that I'm talking about.
And they didn't win this game, but it was a heck of a matchup, and they went to overtime. And I think part of this is, well, if you're going to take a break, this is the time to do it. The Blazers, they got the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell, and they took them to overtime. They lost, but you never know, right? I don't think the Kings are in a position where they'll be sitting players like that. But a night like tonight, we just read off the Nuggets schedule. Nuggets might think, no Sabonis, maybe this is a good time to rest Jokic.
Well, the Blazers are a good example, too, because they're, in theory, helping your strength of schedule by season record. But if you look at, like, just the last month of the season, the Blazers are a top 10 team in the league.
Red hot. On the other side, speaking of red hot, I still don't know what to do with the G League, but I know that this guy was a bucket. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary. Not guaranteed.
Hey, Aggie fans. Coach Les here. ESPN is coming to UC Davis this Saturday night to nationally broadcast our home finale versus UC San Diego. Let's pack the University Credit Union Center. It's an 8 p.m. tip. Come see T.Y. Johnson and all of our seniors one last time before we head to Vegas for the Big West Tournament.
Come root on the UC Davis men's basketball team this Saturday night and show the nation what Aggie Hoops is all about. Get your tickets now at UCDavisAggies.com. Go Ags.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold. And American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Call from Rob Bishop on the SAC chat. Norman Powell for the Clippers is out 2 weeks. So that was announced yesterday before the game. So should have been all-star snub. Norman Powell is out for at least the next 2 weeks. Obviously, he did not play last night. And, if you want to take any of that away from the Suns win, I won't hold you to it. Just goes back to our running conversation of, hey man, these dudes are dinged up, and you get to face a team and it says one thing or the other, but you don't know what that team is going to look like. Talking about a rough stretch I was going to say look up instead of down, but right now the Clippers are below the Kings. Another rough stretch for the Clippers, just a mini one compared to what we heard about the Suns. So the Clippers back to back. They were in Phoenix. Now they go home to take on the red-hot Detroit Pistons. So they got Cade Cunningham and the Pistons tonight. I'm really interested in to see that game. Pistons on the East Coast, so they're always playing so early. So 7:30 start for that game. Obviously, the Kings are on tonight, but they have the Pistons today. So they have a back-to-back as they try to bounce back from blowing a 20, 30-point lead last night. After that, they host the Knicks on Friday, and they host the Kings on Sunday. So now to that point, they probably face the Knicks without Karl Anthony Towns, as he might not make that road trip. So maybe the Clippers and the Kings all get the same gift that the Warriors get, and the Warriors might get that gift twice, if I'm not mistaken. But then you get to take on the Kings head on, and which is a huge game. The Kings have a lot of games against who they're battling with. March 13th, I know, is their last hurrah against the Warriors, which, hey, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on who's below the Kings. Screw it. The Kings can beat the Warriors, and they have that tiebreaker, and that matters, right? The 6 is right there. The Warriors, they were kind of on the ropes last night, again, to a Knicks team with no Karl Anthony Towns. They couldn't get it done because they ultimately didn't have enough offense, but I'm not going to – you said this, Kyle, and I didn't cut you off, which is funny, because in our mind, the Warriors have run away with the 6th seed. It's a half game. It's a half game.
Well, it's a half game right now.
It's a half game right now. So it's a half game right now.
But the fact that they're in the 6th seed after they were the 10 seed 2 weeks ago.
They're rolling. But I'm just saying you're rolling until you're not. And the Kings will have an opportunity to go mano-a-mano one last time, which could be a huge deal. 916-339-1140. We will open up the phone lines and get your thoughts on the Kings. How are you feeling? We also have power rankings from The Athletic that we will break down as well. I did want to say this, though. Look, I still don't know what to do with the G League, but if you drop 49 on 10 3-pointers, Mr. Mason Jones, you get a shout out on the show. Shout out to Mason Jones. Okay, they beat the G League Suns, and they do it in impressive fashion. Mason Jones does 49.7 assists and 10 3-pointers. The first thing I'm looking at is, did he miss a free throw? Because not dropping a 50 burger when you're so close, Mason. I really hope he didn't miss any free throws because that would kill me. Dropping a 50 burger, 49 is close enough. We'll round up. 7 assists, 10 3-pointers. Again, no real clue what to do with the G League and nights like this. But I do know this: during the media day, Mason Jones was up with the big league squad, and he sat down with us. And I said, hey, Mason, straight up, there are a lot of guards on this team. And for those that don't get to watch Stockton that much or just see, the Joneses at that point, they still had Colby Jones, the Joneses, Keon Ellis, and all you guys, what is it that makes you different than the other guards out there? And he said, I'm a shooter. That's what I'm there to do. I can shoot 3-pointers, and I get it going from 3, and I stretch the floor that way. So he wasn't lying. 10 3-pointers, and the Sack Chat is helping me out. Apparently, he was 6 of 7 from the free throw line. That's a killer.
Ouch.
That's a killer. Is there any point of you that cares? Because if it was me, I'd care. I'd be very excited. But you're so close.
When De'Aaron put up 49, the first thing he said was, I missed that damn free throw.
Yeah.
So I think people definitely are feeling it. I don't know if Mason is, but hitting 10 of 13 threes, like maybe he's like, oh, if I just hit that one. But it's like, dude, you hit 10 3-pointers. Like,
yeah,
the thing that probably haunts you more is the one free throw than any of the 3 missed threes.
Without a doubt. Div on the Sack Chat is saying he was calling it a 50 ball after the game. Can't do that. I'm not being a hater. We can do that, but you can't do that. I joke all the time. Back in my day, I think I hit 297 in my college career. And, when I tell people that, they say, oh, you hit 300. No, I didn't.
Mr. 300.
That's right. No, I didn't. I hit 297. And I think back to every at-bat that could have got me to 300. So, no, I did it. And he didn't have a 50 ball.
One line drive to shortstop
all the time. I should have beat that ground ball out. 300 right there. So Mason,
I better watch out. He's got speed.
That's right. Hey, legs here. Got to be quick here. Mason Jones dropping a 49 burger, which doesn't even sound as cool, but it is very cool. 10 threes in Stockton's victory against the G League Sun, who a lot of them might get some opportunities once the Suns blow up at the end of the season. So great stuff from Mason Jones. On the other side, we break down the fight for the final 3 Western Conference playoff spots and what the Kings need to do to get there. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, We immediately removed their legal burden and introduced them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
It's March, and you're in luck because at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they're slam dunking the competition with unbeatable deals on overhead doors. Hey there, Jason Ross here, and whether you're upgrading your home just like we did, or need a reliable, secure garage door, they've got the perfect match for you. And March is the perfect time for a fresh start. Take your home to the next level with high-quality doors that stand strong, look amazing, and are installed by trusted professionals. The winning results we got is more than we could have asked for, and you can do the same. So visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com today and check out their showroom as well. And when you do, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and find out about the $150 off a new garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Your dream door, just like us, is a click away. You can call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
One ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too. 2 shows, 1 massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
You're home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go, and there's some news out here.
When it breaks, we have it
first.
It's Sacktown Sports.
I guess every game matters.
This time, I think it's worth it.
Malik Monk will be out for the Kings tonight in Denver due to that right toe sprain. So no Domantas Sabonis, and now no Malik Monk. That was about 5 minutes ago. Chris Biederman on that one. Man, oh man, oh man. Rough stuff there for the Kings. And now that soreness from Jokic, kind of hoping that they decide to rest him, because if not, it'll be a pretty rough go. I think it'll be a rough go either way. And I'm not even the biggest Denver guy, but I think that a lot of people, Malik coming off a no turnover performance, albeit against the downtrodden Mavericks, is going to be a lot of Markelle Fultz, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that yet. I know a lot of people are high on Markelle Fultz, but, you know, that guy in spurts I like having to see. And maybe I will gladly be completely wrong, but the point guard position going up against Jamal Murray, who you can put Keon Ellis on, but the point guard position, Christian Brown is a dog defensively, and he's averaging 15. That's the most in his career. So with no Malik Monk, you're going to have a hot night from Keon Ellis. I will say this, offensively, Keon, he tends to have a stinker every now and then bounces back really well. He's done that throughout his last couple years here. Keon, 0 points last game. So instead of it kind of being a luxury and, hey, maybe we'll get a good Keon game, you need a good Keon game. I would say maybe somebody else balls out. If Zach LaVine drops 50, then obviously not. But you don't necessarily need Keon to have a great game, or DeRozan or whoever. But with Christian Brown, he's going to be doing his thing defensively. The real question is Aaron Gordon, right? How can I forget Keegan Murray? Yeah. Aaron Gordon, is he available? If Aaron Gordon is not available and Jokic, then I feel pretty darn good about the Kings, or at least it being a draw.
Yes.
Okay.
If the Nuggets' two best players are out,
well, isn't there? Aaron Gordon's not better than Jamal Murray.
I think he's more valuable.
Don't start with that.
Just saying, look at the numbers.
Don't start with
just
that.
Saying. But anyways, yes, I think defensively I wouldn't be as worried, because Markelle Fultz has proven to be a capable defender as the backup point guard for the Sacramento Kings. Offensively, I have no idea what they're going to put together tonight. Is this just going to be the run and gun offense? Is this going to be, because we talked about it yesterday, so much of their success without Sabonis had been an offense by committee team. No one took more than 15 shots in the Rockets game, or in the Mavericks game. In the Rockets game, 6 different players had 12 or more points, and nobody had more than 21, which was DeRozan. So much of their success is offense by committee. Now, if you take your primary ball handler out while they were trying to figure this thing out, is it going to be Zach and DeMar take 25 shots and just, sometimes they're going to facilitate the offense and just go ISO? Is it going to be Valanciunas getting the ball in the center and him operating like a point center at times to kind of replicate what they do with Sabonis? I have no idea what the offense is going to look like, which fortunately the Nuggets' strength is not defense, but I have no idea how the offense is going to look tonight.
Yeah, 916 says, what have you been watching? Fultz is a much better defender than Malik. Yeah, I would ask you, 916, what have you been listening to? Because we just said that Fultz is much better defensively. It's offensively where the question marks are concerned. So we'll see what happens there. Malik Monk, if you're just now joining us, out tonight with that sprained right toe against the Nuggets. We don't have word yet about Jokic, and I will say this, it's also kind of an early scratch. I would say, the conversations that happen where it's, hey, we're going to see if you can try it. We're going to see if you can go. That wasn't even, I'm not saying to be worried about Malik. I'm just saying it's a game in Denver, a chance to sweep, and they didn't even get to the point where Malik could say, I could try it. They've shut him down before noon.
This is my educated hypothesis. Well, technically, Alan, it's noon in Denver right now. But here, my educated hypothesis is They woke up yesterday and the toe had inflammation. They said, we'll see how it looks tomorrow. They got to today and they're like, it's not any better. Not saying that is what happened. That's just my educated guess based on the fact he was added to the injury report last night.
Mm-hmm.
They probably went through walkthrough already, or maybe they're getting ready for walkthrough right now. And they were just like, yeah, there's no way he can't push off or get acceleration or anything like that. So that's my guess. I don't know for sure, though.
Yeah, that's typically how this stuff goes. You know, you try to slow play, especially a guy like Malik that doesn't tend to miss a ton of time. I know the end of just kind of freak situations. You got Luka flopping on him last season, and then you have what happened earlier this season. So he's missed some time as of late, but typically a guy that, you know, you run out there, and he also is always going 1,000%. As I just kind of look at the numbers here and the different rotations, if in a game with Malik Monk, Markelle Fultz, and you know what? You know what's funny, Kyle? Interestingly enough, we saw Malik, wasn't he limping to the locker room last game, but then he ended up coming back in the game?
Yeah.
So that's something probably happened, as is quite typical. Play through it, got adrenaline running, and then the game ended, and it's, this is actually kind of jacked up.
Well, they're listing it as a toe sprain, which think about spraining your finger. Just that, but for a toe. And if it's your big toe, which I think they said it was his big toe, that affects your ability to push off and get acceleration and things like that.
Which is exactly what Malik Monk does.
Quick note, I saw fans in the SAC chat was asking about Mason Jones' call-up after his 49-point game. Mason Jones and Isaiah Crawford are both out tonight because of the G League two-way contract situation. So neither of them are available for the Kings.
There you go. DeMar DeRozan, obviously, he's going to have the basketball. I don't know how much you'll see Keegan with the basketball, but we're going to see Zach LaVine as the point guard tonight. Keon Ellis will most likely get the start. We already mentioned Markelle Fultz. So when it comes to the scoring, I guess the only good thing, and not to say Malik has been doing nothing offensively, but at least you're not losing Malik. You're going to see how much you miss Malik, but from the scoring aspect specifically, Malik hasn't been on a burner. So you feel like if you can get more than 0 points from Keon Ellis, which is what he had last game, you can survive. And honestly, if Jokic and Aaron Gordon play, you're probably not surviving. I'm more so thinking about if one of them doesn't play. The 5-3-0, yeah. So G-Man did talk to Malik about it after the game in the post-game last game. Great call, 5-3-0. And the 916 is already mentioning, let's not forget, the Kings rating is better with Malik on the bench and Keon starting. So, yeah, that's defensively, and I know offensively in spurts. And, you know, I've been done talking about those different starting lineups, but hey, this is an opportunity to see what that looks like, right? If they go out, let's say Jokic plays, and whether or not Aaron Gordon plays, let's say Jokic plays, okay? If they get it done, and it's not to say that, you know, they're obviously not better without Malik Monk, but if that starting lineup is just on a heater all game long, maybe it starts some conversation, right? We are to the point now where it's confusing because the Kings are stacking up these wins against mostly lesser opponents besides, you know, the Rockets. But now as they go on to face, you know, the big boys during March, does anybody have the you-know-whats to change the starting lineup when they've been winning, even though they've been winning against lesser opponents? So I don't really think that anything will happen there, but at the very least, 916, at least it gives the Kings some hope out there in Denver, especially if Jokic and or Aaron Gordon don't play. So we have that sound, and great call from the 5-3-0. We have that sound from G-Man talking to Malik about the sprained toe after last game. Here it is.
I was scared when you went walking off the floor late in the end of the quarter in the first half. What you have a problem there?
Yeah, when I dove for the ball, he stepped on my foot and kind of like smashed my foot together. But yeah, I'm all right though.
on the possession before that, you had launched a pull-up, about a 14, 15-foot J, and I thought it looked awkward the way maybe you had jammed an ankle or a knee or something.
Yeah, it was my foot. I couldn't extend all the way, so I had to just go to the back, make sure it's all good. But yeah, I'm good though.
Mystery solved.
Yes, sir.
So I think he was all good during the game, and you get on that flight and you stop moving around and things start to get inflamed, and it turns out that not really all good. Already the Kings have said that Malik Monk is out tonight. So that, to your point, Kyle, that tells me that there's probably some version, shoot around, whatever it was, or he just woke up and said, I can't shoot around. I can't do anything. So the Kings have decided that Malik Monk will be out tonight in Denver. I am waiting to see if anything, because that's not even from the Kings per se. So we're trying to see when any of these Denver writers are able to find out about Jokic and Aaron Gordon. Hasn't been named yet.
Or around 1 o'clock, I think, is when they have to release a new injury report.
Right. So that's where we are waiting to see what happens. But either way, you got to play who's in front of you, and the Kings are going to be without one of their most electric players. And you know what? The optimistic way to look at this, because after all, I am optimistic, Allen. You're 3-0 on the road trip. You fall to 3-1 against a team that a lot of people think have a great chance to win the whole thing. You kind of have bigger fish to fry. In a weird way, you have bigger fish to fry, as in taking care of your home court. When you get back home, you can get Malik even more treatment. You're trying to get Sabonis healthy. You're already going in there on the road without Domantas Sabonis. Jokic could easily play tonight. It's questionable, but he easily plays tonight, and there's really no point. It's kind of losing the battle to hopefully win the war. So we'll see what happens there with the Kings, and obviously going to keep you up to date on Malik Monk. Real quick, not to poo-poo this either, but the Raiders are signing Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million extension. That includes $91.5 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL per sources, which is every contract.
It's a technicality too. Yeah. It's in average annual value it is, but not total guarantees.
Adam Schefter goes on to say, for the third time in 4 years, the Raiders are addressing the contract of their cornerstone player, this time cementing his relationship with the Raiders for the foreseeable future. And that's great stuff. Hopefully he doesn't go anywhere, but for now, Max Crosby is happy.
The Raiders are now paying the highest edge rusher contract in the NFL by average annual value, and the second highest interior pass rusher contract to Christian Wilkins. So,
all you got to do is go get a quarterback. That's all you got to do. And the way they're talking about Shedeur Sanders, which is crazy, by the way, you might have Shedeur Sanders at 6. Who knows? All right.
You might have him in the second round.
On the other side, we get back to the strength of schedule conversation and the fight for the final 3 Western Conference playoff spots. Where do the Kings fall, and how does this Malik Monk injury and Domantas Sabonis injury give you flashbacks of last season? Allen Stiles, Sac Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Reading some of the texts here, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. And I thought this was interesting. Also, for all you NFC West fans, whether you are a Niners fan or a Seahawks fan, DK Metcalf.
Or preying on the Seahawks downfall.
Yes, or wanting the Seahawks to just dissolve into nothingness. DK Metcalf is helping to make that happen. He has requested a trade from the Seahawks. That came out about an hour ago as the Seahawks moved from Tyler Lockett, who hasn't been tackled in 5 years. So DK Metcalf is on his way somewhere. Niners really make it hurt.
One of the strangest phenomenons I've ever seen was after I went to Seattle years ago, and this was after the Legion of Boom was gone, but while Russell Wilson and people were still there. Like, Tyler Lockett was the dude getting all of the like commercials and like Amazon advertising.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I'm telling you,
Tyler, that Tyler Lockett, just fan favorite Tyler Lockett. So
if I played football, I would be Tyler Lockett. I would be on the ground. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not trying to get hit.
You got speed.
That's right.
Got wheels.
916 says people should say the same thing about the Warriors and Lakers. Look at their wins. They ain't playing nobody either, just like us, but they get kudos. So during the break, talking about how, the Kings have won some lesser games. Yeah, I'm thinking the immediate wins for the Kings. And to be honest, you're not wrong, 916. The Kings have had some easy games, but so have the Warriors. I'm looking at debunking the Jimmy Butler era, if you will. Okay, so his first game was in Chicago, and the Bulls are not good. So they beat the Bulls. I think the big one is that they beat the Bucks, but if I'm not mistaken, somebody was missing. Yeah, they beat the Bucks without Giannis, to be honest with you. So they beat the Bucks without Giannis, okay? They lost to the Mavs where Kyrie went off. They beat the Rockets, who the Rockets have been sliding. They whoop on the Kings. They beat the Mavericks again. They beat the Hornets. They beat the Magic. They lose to the 76ers. They beat the Hornets. And then they beat the Knicks without Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not saying this is cubic zirconia fake, but they have beat some bad teams. And who do they have next tomorrow? The Nets. They have beat some bad teams.
Yes.
That's a great call, 916.
Bad teams like the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento.
Well, I would count that might be one of their most impressive. Honestly, you look at this Warriors stretch with Jimmy. A lot of people, I saw Warrior fans were just getting on my nerves yesterday because they said that this was the most impressive win of the Jimmy era, which maybe it is because it's off a back-to-back in New York. But their second highest score wasn't playing for the Knicks. So what are we talking about?
That tells you what they feel about the Kings.
Because they whooped, to me, on this stretch, the most impressive win that the Warriors have had was against the Kings.
Yeah, it just might be, but they don't seem to think of it that way.
Or maybe the Rockets, depending on how you feel about the Rockets.
Here's what I would clap back to the texter talking about the Lakers and Warriors carry the same energy. One, Warriors beat the Kings by 25 points in Golden One Center.
And I think that definitely matters.
Two, the Lakers went into Denver and crushed the Nuggets at full strength. So
right, that's the big one for them.
Are the Kings going to do that tonight? Obviously, Kings not at full strength, but like, are we going to carry that same energy when the Nuggets or if the Nuggets beat the Kings tonight? Because the Lakers beat the Nuggets.
I'm looking here to try to debunk the Lakers as well. So the Lakers, was that the first game with Luka?
Which one?
Lakers Nuggets?
No, the first game was the Charlotte one that they lost.
Okay, well, Luka did not play against the Blazers for whatever it's worth. So that threw me off. So, yes, they lose to the Hornets and everyone is freaking out. And then they lose to the Blazers and again, everyone is freaking out. Then this is where the run starts. Saturday, they beat the Nuggets. Okay. Saturday, they beat the Nuggets. Then they beat, again, the Mavericks, but Kyrie was playing. Still no Anthony Davis. They beat the Timberwolves, which, again, was, I would call that a good win. Just, yeah, Anthony Edwards and no Julius Randle for whatever it's worth in that game. So they beat the Timberwolves with no Julius Randle. They beat the Clippers, who they just own, to be honest with you. Then they beat the Clippers again because they still own them. And then they beat the Pelicans. So I would say Warriors probably more fraudulent than the Lakers.
Sure, and I think it's easier to say that because the Warriors are the 6th seed and the Lakers are the 2 seed, and they were kind of fine before that. But like, if we're not going to give teams credit for beating the Nuggets, and we're not going to give teams credit,
but I said.
No, I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it to the texter. If we're not going to give them credit for beating the above 500 teams, I don't know what we're doing there. And the Kings probably deserve more credit for beating the Rockets without Sabonis than people are giving them.
Right. Well, I think the other thing, too, is the Lakers won these games, and they're the 2 seed now. The Kings won these games, and they're the 8 seed. So the Laker thing, I don't really have a problem with. If you want to make the better argument is whether or not the Warriors are actually as good as everybody is saying. I'm not putting the Lakers in that category because their wins have also led them to be the 2 seed. And again, on that, the best win for the Lakers is way better than the best, no offense to the Kings, but the best win for the Lakers in the Luka era, way better. And if you just watch them, Kyle, the game last night was insane, man. I still can't believe, Nico, I'm not over this. We're going to get to the curse of Luka and what happens with the Mavs. Kyle, it's literally a party out there in LA.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They just opened LeBron James's championship window with one single trade. Like, LeBron James was never going to win another NBA championship. Mm-hmm. And they, with one single move, they just opened his championship window again. And he's playing like his championship window just
said,
opened
we're
again.
back. Okay.
Yeah. And people were like, oh, I don't know, Luka and LeBron played together. Have you watched LeBron James play basketball in the last 20 years? Like, that dude knows better than almost anyone when to give up the ball and when to make the pass. 2 years ago, I saw Austin Reeves call off LeBron in ISO and win a playoff game. Like, LeBron knows when to sacrifice and when to take over better than anyone in the history of the NBA. Yes, the Lakers are going to be really good. I don't think they have enough this year to get past OKC or Denver, but they've already proven maybe to be wrong in that camp. They are really, really good. And to the point of the Warriors, remember, the Warriors and Kings started the All-Star break in the exact same spot. Mm-hmm. Same record, same place. The only difference between those two teams, and I guess I'm playing devil's advocate to the texter now, is if the Kings win that game, the Kings are the 6th seed.
Right.
That's if the Kings beat the Warriors, the Kings are in the 6th seed and the Warriors are the 8th seed. So the only difference between the two at this point is basically the head-to-head.
And March 13th, that's it. The King that game is very important. The Kings know it and the Warriors know it. That is the last matchup against the Warriors and the Kings, and give the Kings an opportunity to say, hey, you beat us when we were still trying to figure out who we are, and we got something for you. We've already beat you twice this year, and we're going to take that tiebreaker on the way out. The fight for the final 3 Western Conference playoff spots. Also, we get into the mess that is the matchups between these 4, 5, 6 teams all fighting to stay away from the play-in. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
That spice is 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Hi, my name is Khadijah, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick of the chicken. It's just the right amount of heat, and it gets me excited. And then, pro tip, add that cilantro lime sauce. It cools it down. If the sandwich is at 100, the cilantro lime takes it to 200. It makes me want to, tell all my friends and family.
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations used leather for water skins, armor, and sandals. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Today, leather is one of nature's most luxurious products. The combination of leather with beautifully designed furniture creates an end product that adds luxury and sophistication to any room. During Naturewood Home Furnishings leather sale, you'll find their considerable selection of leather is flexible, breathable, natural, and maybe most important, comfortable. Whether you're a relaxed contemporary kind of person or you're more classic leather, Naturewood Home Furnishings has color choices and styles to fit your home. In fact, I doubt any store can beat Naturewood's selection. During Naturewood's leather sale, all leather furniture is on sale for a limited time. Sit, enjoy the comfort of leather at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Service is their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer-branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help, whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need. They'll take care of you at National Garage Door. 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Breaking down all of the different situations that can happen with the Sacramento Kings. We have some Curse of the Bambino talk coming up as well. And this NFL news, man, NFL is king. And Devontae right now, Kyle, and I obviously DK requested a trade. It's off the top of my head looking at what his contract is, but there's no question, right? You're a team. You want DK over Devontae?
Depends on the price. At the same price, I think DK Metcalf is probably better going forward, but that's just because he's younger.
Right. And again, Trey, he signed a 3-year, $72 million deal, and he is in that deal right now. So the average salary is $24 million. I don't know if anybody is giving. I don't know. Devontae going to get over 20 mil somewhere else? I don't know.
It just depends. It would be a shorter term deal. The other thing with DK that's different though is that he's got 1 year left on his deal. So anyone that's trading for him is signing him to a long-term extension.
Right.
Or at least I would assume. I don't know. We saw the rumor last week the Packers were thinking of giving up pick 23 for DK. And if you made that trade, I don't know why you would do it for 1 year if you're the Packers. So I assume you're signing him to an extension.
Right. I also saw Adam Schefter on Pat McAfee talk about Devontae going back to the Packers. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of the same teams interested in these Patriots, another name that we've heard. He's 28, by the way.
The Patriots were connected to Christian Kirk, who got released by the Jaguars today.
After he got the bag.
Oh, he got the bag. All right. I don't know what that one is what I call the Jaguars tax, which is you got to pay a little pretty penny to just get people to go to Jacksonville. But yeah, he'll probably get cashed out by someone. I would say DK is at the top of the until like we hear, T Higgins is actually available instead of a franchise tag. I would say DK is number one with a smoking gun in terms of receivers, which, hey, John Lynch, need a receiver, I guess.
Right. Well, you got receivers, but you still need a receiver. We always joke that the Niners receiver situation, very similar to the Kings and guard situation. So, Kyle, we were going to break down the fight for the final 3 Western Conference playoff spots. As we've discussed, the Clippers, their strength of schedule is 7th on that list. They still have a couple games against Cleveland, a couple games against OKC, and a couple games against the Knicks. And they're going to have to do it, the next couple weeks here, as they announced Norman Powell, their all-star snub, is out right now. And they just lost last night to the Suns. And in these breakdowns, the Detroit Pistons, when you got to go on the road, they might not pop up as a hard team, but I don't really want to go to Detroit off a back-to-back with no Norman Powell. I don't want to do that. So who knows? The Clippers could easily lose tonight. That'd be great. Obviously, Nuggets and Kings got to take care of business, but that'd be great. Next on the list, and the Clippers have 2 more games against the Kings, so we'll see what directions those go. The Warriors, strength of schedule, 16th. Their hardest games, they still have, or I think they have 1 more now against the Knicks, 2 more against Denver, at Memphis, at Lakers, and they have that one last matchup against the Kings on the 13th that we mentioned. And here's the thing about the Warriors. I am interested, very, very interested in how they add Jonathan Kuminga back into this lineup. I think it might be as soon as this weekend. Everyone is calling him the X factor, and at some point it could look really good. But Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler can, for anyone who ever had, and I got to look at the career, I don't really care about the career 3-point percentages. For anybody that I know in my mind, I would compare DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler's 3-point percentage the same. Jimmy Butler can't shoot threes.
No, he cannot.
He cannot. The DeMar DeRozan conversation was a bit overstated. DeMar DeRozan didn't shoot threes, and at one point maybe couldn't, but more so just didn't. Jimmy Butler cannot shoot threes. You watch Jimmy Butler, it's ethical foul baiting. That's basically his offensive game. It's offensive rebounds, it's cutting to the basket, and it's foul baiting. That's Jimmy Butler's offense. He's not going to take over a game.
Allen, yes. Have you been watching the Heat the last 6 years?
I'm just saying. People used to, and myself included, guys like Jimmy and DeMar DeRozan are mid-range merchants. They're completely different. Completely different now.
Every Miami Heat game for the last 6 years has been 101-98. That's just how it's been when you have Jimmy Butler as the center point. And by the way, Jimmy Butler was 1 3-pointer away from being a 3-time Eastern Conference champion with that style of basketball. That 1 3-pointer against Boston in Game 7 in 2022 was the reason Miami didn't win a 3rd Eastern Conference championship with Jimmy Butler.
So you have Jonathan Kuminga, who's a really good player, and I do think that maybe they'll probably figure it out at some point. But Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler on the court together with Draymond Green, who his threes have left ever since that injury. He was shooting the ball really well to start the season. So you get those 3 guys. Kuminga's been coming off the bench, but you're going to see this lineup.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing of it. Oh, we're adding this X factor. Steph, and then either Moses Moody or Brandon Pajemski to round out the 5.
They're not going to play Kuminga at the 4, are they?
I'm just saying the whole idea, maybe they just do change of pace with Kuminga. All I'm saying is they're really high on getting Kuminga back, but I don't know how that spacing will work at all. So they're going to get Kuminga back. They're going to be better. How that looks, I don't know. So that's what the Warriors have. They're saying we still have this addition who Kuminga, while coming off the bench, was playing basically the best basketball of his career.
And they've won 9 of 10 without him.
There you go. Which, again, we saw it with the Rockets. It might take a game, might take 2, might not take any games. Maybe they'll just continue to roll. So we'll see there. The Timberwolves, strength of schedule, 28th. So that is why we're still a bit worried about the Timberwolves. They have a pretty easy schedule. They do have 2 more at Denver. Feels like Memphis should be up on the list. Memphis got to play all these teams. So Memphis, they still have a game at Memphis, a game at Milwaukee, and those 2 games against Denver are probably their 2 most important games.
But if you look at their rest of their schedule, 2 against they beat the Sixers now. So 1 more against the Sixers. By the way, I think the line last night was 14 and they hit exactly a 14-point win.
Vegas knows.
2 against Utah, 2 against Brooklyn, 2 against the Pelicans. They go to Charlotte. They play the Spurs, which I think everyone here plays the Spurs, but they get the Spurs still.
Mm-hmm. Kings, strength of schedule, 2nd, as we've talked about. Hardest, they have 2 more against the Cavs and OKC. Somehow, that's crazy.
I think they only have 1 against OKC.
Okay, 1 more against OKC, 2 more against Denver. They have Boston, another game against New York. They're at Indiana. They're at Milwaukee. They get a little bit of a break as they have a couple games against, I guess you could put the Spurs in this category now, but the Wizards, the Hornets, the Bulls, and of course the couple most important games for them.
I'm realizing now that I did the research, all 4 of these teams have a home game against the Spurs. So we can just ignore the Spurs.
Yeah.
All 4 teams still play a home game against the Spurs.
The most important games, that tiebreaker or to officially win the tiebreaker against the Warriors on March 13th. That doesn't mean to say that they can't win it. If they lose, we will break down how they can still win it. The at Clippers and then home against the Clippers. So that is the breakdown on who needs what to win. In my opinion, I know they have a really hard strength of schedule, but some things, again, you're fighting to stay away from that 9 seed. I do think something would have gone pretty wrong, and that wrongness is going to happen within the next couple weeks here. When you have the Celtics, when you have the Thunder, the Bucks, all these games, if you can survive March, and this is a bit of Captain Obvious here, but you survive March not in the 9 seed, then I do not think we will have to worry about the 9 seed. But the opposite of that is you end March in the 9 seed.
I think you gave the most articulate point yesterday, which was it's 4 teams fighting for 3 spots.
Yeah.
There's going to be semantics all around there. Like the Rockets are going to fall a little bit and maybe the Suns will turn it around. But the easiest way to look at it is 4 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots.
Right.
One of them is going to get a bye in the 6th seed through to the playoffs. Everyone else is going to be playing for the play-in. So once the 6th seed gets decided at the end of the season, it'll become 3 teams fighting for 2 spots.
Right.
Assuming you don't choke against the Suns. But 4 teams for 3 spots is the best way to look at it, which makes me feel better about the Kings' chances if you look at it that way.
Just don't be that team that's 9th. That's it.
It's better than thinking of it as 6 teams fighting for 3 spots. Now it's really 4 teams left.
Don't be that team that's 9th. You have, again, it's rough sledding for the Malik thing. I don't want to come off as super nervous because we don't know. Let's just take it day by day. But he is out against the Nuggets tonight, and we're gonna enjoy being in the 8th seed right now, but things could look a lot different tomorrow depending on who wins, who loses, and maybe in a good way. Maybe Jokic does sit, and maybe you beat the Nuggets with Jokic. Who knows? But all these games matter, and tonight is going to be a rough one or a tough one without Sabonis and Malik Monk. When we return, The Athletic has power rankings, and the Kings actually moved up. What's going on, national media? Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a 2-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacramento Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings. Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Gurrington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, and the total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings, or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
One ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
The Athletic has put out some power rankings, and I really wasn't that upset with what I saw. We're going to start from the bottom and make our way up to the top. And
now we're here.
The normal names are the normal names. This is from our guy Law Murray, by the way. Shout out Law Murray. He's been on the show a couple of different times. Goes on to write, as we approach the stretch run, I'll share the remaining games on the calendar worth getting your popcorn ready for. There are only 6 weeks left, so I'll be limiting the games to a maximum of 5. Let's be real. For some of these teams, all of these games are must-wins. A reminder, these power rankings won't just rank every team. We will retain the tiers that teams will be promoted into and relegated out of. There will be 5 tiers every week. Top contenders, in a good place, the bubble, not the tier to fear, basement floor. So here's the breakdown of them. Top contenders, locked at 5. These are the class of the league. In a good place, could be 1 team, could be 7 teams. The bubble, not to be confused with Walt Disney World, the middle of the pack. Not the tier to fear, not playing the worst ball in the league, but with a lot of work to do. And basement floor, bringing up the rear. Kyle, before I say where the Kings are at, where would you guess they're at?
Can I get the names of the tiers again? That was a little too wordy.
Top contenders, this is locked at 5. There's only going to be 5 of them.
Okay.
The class of the league. In a good place, could be 1 team, could be 7. The bubble, not to be confused with Walt Disney World, the middle of the pack. Not the tier to fear, not playing the worst ball in the league, but with a lot of work to do.
Wait, hold on. So not the middle of the pack is not the tier to not the tier to fear.
No, the bubble is not the tier to fear. The bubble is the middle of the pack.
Who's on first?
Do you want me to do this or not?
I'm just trying to understand it. Okay. Whatever the one above, not the team to fear is. That's where I think the Kings. Yes, the bubble.
Okay.
Whatever middle of the pack, the bubble. That's where I'm guessing the Kings are.
Okay. We got there.
I'm genuinely confused. Like, this isn't even a bit. I'm genuinely trying to figure this out.
In the worst tier, of course, the basement floor, Charlotte Hornets at 30, Washington Wizards at 29, Utah Jazz at 28, New Orleans Pelicans at 27, and the Philadelphia 76ers at 26. Next, in the not the tier to fear, there's a bunch of these.
Even you're confused.
No, I'm just trying to read it backwards. Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Orlando Magic.
Oh, dang.
Portland Trailblazers, San Antonio Spurs, Phoenix Suns, and Chicago Bulls, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto Raptors. Okay, so that's not the tier to fear.
So that's the combination of my league pass teams and teams without direction tier.
And of course, the bubble, as you guessed it, Kyle, kind of the middle of the pack. You have at number 12, the Golden State Warriors. At number 13, the Sacramento Kings. Their last ranking was 15, so they've bounced up a little bit. At number 14, the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's so funny. At number 15, the Clippers. It's literally just at number 16, the Mavericks. It's just all the teams fighting to not be in a play-in.
It's all the Western Conference teams.
All the lower tier Western Conference teams. That's what it is. Here's the write-up for the Kings. Whatever Doug Christie told these guys worked. The Kings are on their second winning streak of at least 4 games this season, with the first extending to 7 after Christie lost his first game at Los Angeles in December. It's all about defending better. After giving up 132 points to the Warriors on February 21st, the Kings have not allowed 110 points during their current win streak. Law has as the biggest games left, went today at Denver. Friday, he has Friday at San Antonio, I think probably because of a little bit of pride there. Sunday at Clippers, March 13th at Golden State, and April 13th, last game of the season, against Phoenix. Defensive ratings, 15th. Offensive rating is 7th. And, in the last week, a win at Utah, win at Houston, win at Dallas. So that is where he has the Kings. Like we said, the bubble tier is just all the teams the Kings are battling with. The Golden State Warriors are at 12. Number 11, the Pistons, in a different tier. Number 10, the Pacers. Number 9, the Bucks. Number 8, the Grizzlies. Number 7, the Rockets. Number 6, the Nuggets. That's all in tier 2.
7 Rockets? Wow.
That's interesting. As they they're 2-2, I guess. It's because they beat the Bucks, I think. And then they lost to the Kings and they lost to the Thunder.
I'm just going to say it right now. Law Murray, I don't like your power rankings.
That is your prerogative. Number 5, this is also a little surprising.
So this is locked in?
This is locked in, the tier or the elite class. Number 5, they did drop down one. The New York Knicks are in at number 5. And, you lose to Steph, who hasn't lost in Madison Square Garden in a very long time, and no Karl Anthony Towns. Probably not going to count that much against them, even though the Warriors were coming off a back-to-back. Number 4, the Boston Celtics. Number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, he lays out these W's, win against Dallas, win against Minnesota, and 2 wins against the Clippers.
Okay, so wait a second. He has the Knicks and the Lakers in the top 5.
Yes.
So who was 6 again? Boston?
6 was the Nuggets.
Oh, okay. So he's leaving the Nuggets out. Got it.
Yeah, he's leaving the Nuggets out. 4 Boston, 3 Lakers, 2 Thunder, 1 Cavaliers. I don't have a problem where the Kings are. 13, I mean, that's where they are.
I don't know how you can.
You can't.
His entire category is just, here's 6 through 10 in the West. Figure it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I would assume that the Mavericks probably keep dropping, right? And not just in Law's rankings, just in the standings, and that'll reflect in everyone's different standings. So there you have it. Yeah, I think that the Kings right now, to me, if they can get this win tonight, that would send a message. If you get a win, I would say with Jokic is crazy. If you get a win in Denver with Jokic on the floor and no DeMontis, I don't even know what that win looks like, to be completely honest. I mean, the Nuggets just have to be very, very cold offensively. But if you get a win in Denver with no DeMontis Sabonis, no Malik Monk, I don't know. I think it would just be a malfunction. If you get a win in Denver and Jokic doesn't play, I still think that's a great road trip, without a doubt. You still don't have even the advantage of having no Jokic on the floor, it's almost still, it's not a wash because, yes, Jokic is better than Sabonis, but the Kings aren't playing with Sabonis or Malik Monk. So if Jokic doesn't play, but Aaron Gordon does, either way, you walk out of Denver, any combination of how things end as far as the injury report is concerned, any combination I think is very, very impressive for the Sacramento Kings. So we'll see if they will be able to get it done. On the other side, we will continue to break down the Kings. Obviously, our preview coming up at 1 o'clock. But there are some conversations being had about the one, the only Brock Purdy as the Niners look to solidify their QB1. Things could get a little bit awkward. My question is, do the Niners owe Brock Purdy anything? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2 with 8 big fights on the bill featuring top-level veterans and the best in up-and-coming new names. Scheduled fighters include names like cruiserweights Blake McKernan and Sean Miller. It's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. It's Thunder Showdown 2 coming March 8th to the venue at the Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Fight card subject to change. See Thunder Valley website for scheduled lineup.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Things are just better when you switch to Cricket. The sun shines a little brighter. Happy music starts randomly playing. Best of all, you can get iPhone 13 for just $29.99. With the ultra-bright Super Retina display and up to 19 hours of video playback, all on Cricket's super-fast 5G network. See? Isn't that better? Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new account and port in on $60 plan. First service charge and tax to with sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations used leather for water skins, armor, and sandals. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Nature Wood home furnishings. Today, leather is one of nature's most luxurious products. The combination of leather with beautifully designed furniture creates an end product that adds luxury and sophistication to any room. During Nature Wood Home Furnishings leather sale, you'll find their considerable selection of leather is flexible, breathable, natural, and maybe most important, comfortable. Whether you're a relaxed contemporary kind of person or you're more classic leather, Nature Wood Home Furnishings has color choices and styles to fit your home. In fact, I doubt any store can beat Nature Wood's selection. During Nature Wood's leather sale, all leather furniture is on sale for a limited time. Sit, enjoy the comfort of leather at Nature Wood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
So many things, big and little, make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, dreams, careers, family, and more. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at choosechangeca.org.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
2 hours down, 2 to go. Let's get into this Brock Purdy conversation. But before we do that, some more Kings we wanted to break down as we open up the phone lines. Kyle on the phone lines right now. I just want to give a shout out. So just to peel back the curtain a little bit, Kyle will get on the phone, and most of the time when somebody calls in, right, 916-339-1140, call in, Kyle chats a little bit, asks you what's going on, what do you want to talk about, and then I will see the line come through, I will see the name pop up, and we rock and roll from there. There are other times where Kyle will just have a grand old time on the phone talking about, and I almost feel like, because it's through the glass, I'm almost curious. Well, what are you guys talking about? You talking about me? What are you guys talking about? It'll be a conversation that goes on for what feels like 5 minutes, and then it doesn't get put through. The person didn't want to have a conversation on the air, and I feel left out sometimes. So, Kyle, if you could, what's going on in these situations?
So there's 3 situations that are happening when this happens. And sometimes people who are watching on YouTube right now at 1140, what is it, Sacktown 1140? That's the handle?
That's it.
So you can see me sometimes on the phone. There's one of 3 things. One is someone's calling because they won tickets and they want to know where their tickets are.
Okay.
Which they just call back to the hotline. I'm like, I don't have the answer for you. I will reach out to promotions, but I don't know.
Yes.
If you've won tickets and you haven't gotten tickets, the problem is 80% of the time you. I want people to know that. 80% of the time you're the problem, but you're going to call the hotline and I'm going to try and help you.
Of course.
Number 2 is they have a take, but they don't want to share it on the air, which sometimes I'll relay to you. Sometimes if it's a bad take, I'll just, throw it out. Or sometimes we'll be playing a game like when we were trying to name the Valanciunas Sabonis.
Yes.
People will be in the car and they're like, hey, I wanted to submit something, but I can't text because I'm driving. So I'm just going to call the hotline and I'm going to submit my thing.
Okay.
And number 3 is, I think, my least favorite, which is they just want to give me their take into the phone.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I got to be like, save it for on air. You don't have to rehearse your entire take to me on the text line. I just want to know what you want to talk about. little bit of a direction that you're going so I can give Allen an idea. If it's a regular caller, I'll just be like, if it's JR, I'm like, JR,
Right.
whatever. You talk about whatever. You're JR. It's fine. I trust you. You've been calling into the station longer than I've been alive. We don't have to worry about you.
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do, but JR's fine. There's a handful where I'm just like, yeah, you're fine. Go for it.
Right.
Like TC.
Yes.
TC, pretty much anything he's going to want to talk about is probably fine.
Yes.
But there's a handful of people who call in and want to give their entire take to me on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing research.
Save it for the show.
Alan. I got like 30 seconds at most. So
hey, that's what they say in the business, in the industry. Don't do the show before the show. Save it.
This recent call was kind of a weird fourth option, which I'll tell you the story off air. I'm not going to tell you on air, but I'm going to explain it to you in the next commercial break.
Okay. Fair enough.
We'll decide if it's for sharing on air.
Because I'll see that. I'm thinking, okay, what's, somebody about to come through. We got a call and then it just hangs up. So I'm what's going on here? I had to ask as we asked the question and put it out to the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Do you feel like the Kings are back? Or do you still need to see more? Would the game tonight show you that the Kings are back? Would beating the Nuggets show you that the Kings are back? Or could they lose a competitive game without Domantas Sabonis, without Malik Monk, and you feel like the Kings are back? Could they get blown out? If Jokic plays and they get blown out with no Domantas Sabonis, with no Malik Monk, by the way, he's out, sprained right toe if you're just now joining us. Yep. And they get blown out last game of a road trip where you've already secured a winning record. You're 3-0. Would you feel like they're not back, or do you just feel like they're back either way? I still need to see more against good teams. And the good thing is, for people like me, we're going to get plenty of chances. Our questions will be answered very, very soon. Even if you don't want to include this game, you still have the Spurs, which a lot of people are saying, oh man, with a little bit of the beef or the unfollow drama, we won't see. He'll be on the bench, so some people will be paying attention to De'Aaron and Domantas Sabonis, that dap up, or maybe Domantas isn't there. I think he would be there, so some people will be paying attention to that. But on the court, won't see Domantas Sabonis versus De'Aaron Fox. Then you're at Clippers and you host the Knicks. You're at Warriors. You're at Suns. Host the Grizzlies. Host the Cavs. Host the Bulls. Host the Bucks. Host the Celtics. Host the Thunder. And host the Red Hot Blazers. So there's going to be plenty of chances for people like me to see the Kings against good teams. But as of right now, do you feel like the Kings are quote unquote back? Like John Wick, I'm thinking I'm back. Does it feel like that? I cannot say they're back simply because of who they beat. As much as I had fun yesterday, my sunglasses are still in my backpack. I forgot to take them out. As much as I had fun yesterday, victory lapping the Kings being 3-1, I got to be honest with the situation. The Rockets win, you can't take anything away from. No Sabonis. The Rockets are at home. They need that win. They truly do. And they couldn't get it done, even behind Şengün scoring 30. So that's a bad loss for the Rockets. It's a really good win for the Kings. But I am not really moved by beating the Utah Jazz, in which a game you didn't even feel comfortable enough to take out your starters. They played the whole game for some odd reason. And then, like I said, you beat the Rockets. We'll give you the kudos there. And after that, as if the Mavericks haven't been through enough, Kyrie tears his ACL very early on in that game. So I can't say that the Kings are back, but we'll know very, very soon. Right? Because the whole season is the month of March. The whole season. We keep on saying it is the Kings version of March Madness. The Kings version of March Madness. 925 says, in the Fox era, without Sabonis and Monk, it would be a lock loss for our chances tonight. That's messed up, 925. Do you think they have a better chance tonight because you're not dealing with De'Aaron Fox. Now, someone's going to chime in. Someone's going to get into their car from the dentist, picking up their kiddos. Alan's still talking about De'Aaron Fox. No.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just reading. I'm reading the text that I'm getting from your people. These are your fellow Kings fans. So the Kings are going to look at this as an opportunity, right, to either go in with house money or say, oh, the Nuggets are playing without Jokic. Look, we're missing Sabonis. We're missing Malik, but there's a lot of Jokic on that team, and we got a shot. So I think either way, I feel good about it, as we joked about, and we can go into the preview, and we will, at around 1 o'clock. Yeah, if Jokic plays and they get their doors blown off, I feel like this is and I'm not the moral victory guy, but I feel like this is kind of a win-win now for the Kings. The only non-win-win is if you get your doors blown off and Jokic doesn't play, that would look bad. That's the only option of this looking bad.
I don't even think it would look bad. I just think it would suck.
Yeah.
It's like, because they didn't have Sabonis.
Right.
So
or Malik.
Yeah, it's not going to look bad no matter what. It's just going to be like, that sucks. They lost even though Jokic didn't play.
Yeah, it would seem like somewhat, I wouldn't even call it a missed opportunity because it's not as if who has the upper hand. I'm really interested once this stuff comes out to see what the betting line, if Jokic doesn't play. If Jokic does play, then yeah, they'll be favored by whatever. If Jokic doesn't play, then that's interesting. Something just came through on the text line, and I'm actually on Sacramento Kings bench mob. Okay, I'm on that Facebook group, and during the break, I'm just going through the Facebook, going through Facebook. That sounded really old there. I'm going through Facebook, and Sacramento Kings bench mob. I just want to know why people are like this. Somebody posted, I want to see Markelle Fultz start tonight. It is, I don't know, I got to be careful here. I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say a plague, but it is almost a plague with sports fans and the obsession with great stories, right? Sports fans act like that boyfriend or girlfriend or that guy or gal that wants to save the bad boy or the dude that had a rough upbringing or the girl that had a rough upbringing, even though they've proven that, hey, let's just keep our expectations in a good spot. Maybe we'll get there. But in what world, Kyle, am I out of my mind? In what world that we have fought so hard with people about Keon Ellis being a starter? There's so much, this is just one person, don't get me wrong. There's so much stats to back up Keon Ellis, right? Whether I want to go into it or not. And there are Kings fans out there that want to start Markelle Fultz tonight. Why are you like this? Why?
Yeah.
What is, and it's not just a Kings thing. What is the obsession with these guys that you've never, whoever that is that posted that, how much Markelle Fultz have you actually watched the last 3 years? It's insane to me.
Okay, so you talked about I do think people really love the feel-good story or want to say they love the feel-good stories until it's presented in reality and it's a little bit more nuanced. That's what is the feel-good with Markelle Fultz? He's coming back from making $80 million and being a bust. It's, you could call it thoracic outlet syndrome, whatever, but it's not really that. He's been in the NBA for 8 years. It's not like this is oh, look at this incredible come-up story. Keon Ellis is probably a cooler story than Markelle Fultz, the former number 1 pick in the draft. So I don't know. I know we're having fun with it, but this is my thought about the feel-good story thing like that is that, this is the person that I think would be the most feel-good story that people claim they want. Someone who is an undrafted player, went to play overseas, signed as the 4th string point guard and worked their way from 4th string point guard to 3rd string point guard to 2nd string to the starter. They made an all defensive team as the starting point guard and ended up having a 15-year NBA career. That's the person that everyone claims they want to root for as the feel good, like, yes, this is an underdog we can get behind. They started at the very bottom and worked their way up. And I always thought it's such a great story. Oh, and then by the way, as the number one who's the all defensive team gets traded and then goes back to play his old team and embarrasses them. That should be the story everyone wants to get behind. And then I tell you, that's Patrick Beverley's story. And everyone's like, I hate that guy so much and he should never play basketball again.
To be fair, he changed, right? I think fame got to him because I was right there, JUCO guy, and I don't even know if Patrick Beverley went to a JUCO, but stories like that I'm in on. And I was in on Patrick Beverley until I wasn't. You know who else went to a JUCO? Aaron Rodgers. And I was in on Aaron Rodgers until I wasn't. So that is different because the feel-good story evolved. It evolved.
Sure. But no one was willing to feel good about it. And I just looked at it. Also, Patrick Beverley was great for the NBA. How many villains do we actually have in the sport?
That's fair.
Like, people didn't like the personality. I'm like, he's playing the character you guys claim you want in the NBA. Everyone's like, there's not enough villains. I'm like, you're getting one.
Yeah.
But you just don't like him anymore.
No, I hear you.
And so maybe Markelle Fultz is that. It's people want to think it's a feel-good story until it doesn't make them feel good.
I just don't understand what it is. I would be, and we saw someone say, oh, pull up Mason Jones, which can't happen because of the two-way situation. But even guys that you have seen more. Now, I don't know how much a lot of people watch Stockton, and Mason Jones doesn't, typically hasn't done too much in the NBA yet, but at least he's been around. I mean, and I'm not saying to start Mason Jones, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I wonder, are we watching the same game? And that's no disrespect to Markelle Fultz. I just wonder where in the course of these last couple of games with Markelle Fultz, where do you see starter? And that kind of goes back to what, in a different way, I know we're way over time, that kind of goes back to why people still continue to clamor. I got to deal with this at least 4 to 5 times a week. Someone asks me why this person doesn't play. We'll tell you who it is. And I ask, why do you care when we return? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
We are having the feel-good story conversation as some people out there, Malik Monk out tonight. Some people out there want to see Markelle Fultz start tonight. And I don't know why. I do not know why. Someone on the Sack Chat said maybe this person's trolling. I don't think so, but honestly, I hope so. The 916, this is a good point. I also wonder if it is not just a feel-good story, but fans with slight delusion that think, hey, this is a former number 1 pick, maybe we got a hidden gem or a steal. I think the thought is he is a superstar that might have been overlooked. But the truth is there's a reason 29 other teams didn't sign him, whether it's injury prone or deficiencies in his game. I like Fultz and I'm hopeful, but he's not a starter. I think that's a great point, 916. You know, and we're about to get into this Brock Purdy conversation. When it comes to Brock Purdy, the term came up. Is there a little bit of Draf-ism going on? Are people not paying attention to Brock or trying to downplay what Brock has done in his career so far because of where he was drafted, last pick in the draft? Even though he had the Avengers, if Brock went number 1 overall or even top, a top pick or top couple rounds, honestly, you would believe what you saw, even though he was getting a decent amount of help. But because Brock went, Mr. Irrelevant, nobody pays attention to him the same way. The opposite of that Draftism would be Markelle Fultz must be good because he went number 1. Well, Anthony Bennett also went number 1, and I don't know where Anthony Bennett. I remember a year or two ago there was supposed to be the Anthony Bennett return. He was cooking in G League, and then we never saw him again. But there was a conversation that, hey, maybe this guy is going to figure it out. But I think you're on to something, 916. Maybe there's a little bit of, hey, this guy's a number 1 pick, and he's just sitting on our bench. He's got to be good. G Money on the Sack Chat, again, I don't know if you're trolling or not. I, too, would like to see Fultz start as well. I don't know what I'm missing. It maybe no trolling, they say. I think this is just a running thing, right? In football, the most popular player is the backup quarterback. It went from, as soon as you become a starter, fans have to move to somebody else. So for years, Malik Monk's got to start, right? It's almost like a once you get branded as a starter, somebody else needs to take your spot if the team isn't doing well enough. So Malik Monk for years had to start. All right. It was Kevin Huerter who had to go. Malik Monk, he has to be the spark off the bench. We can't start Kevin Huerter we can't sit Kevin Huerter because he's got to get into a rhythm. All right, cool. Malik Monk finally gets a chance to start. I think that all lasted, a couple months? So a couple months, everybody's happy. Yeah, Malik Monk finally got to start. Team starts losing some games, things like that. Well, actually, the net rating for one Keon Ellis is actually better. So now Malik Monk's got to ride pine, and Keon Ellis has got to start. So now Keon Ellis has an opportunity to start. People say, well, I've actually really liked the 16 minutes I've seen from Markelle Fultz, who has not played in a year.
Let's go with the guy who we signed 3 weeks ago.
That in Denver.
And by the way, you know what's going to happen if Markelle Fultz plays and has a halfway decent game?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
If Mason Jones.
I can't wait for oh, my gosh. No, I can't wait for the net rating tonight. Let's say the Nuggets win. The net rating of the lineup of all the starters without Keon instead of Markelle Fultz. Now Malik has had to sit for everyone. If I was still playing basketball, Malik would have to sit for me if I was on the Kings. Malik has had to sit for everyone. We are not too far gone. If the Kings win tonight and Markelle Fultz has a good game, somebody's going to want Malik on the bench for Markelle Fultz.
I'm sure there were people who already thought that way. I guarantee you there were already people who were saying that. But tonight would be affirmation for those people. If in this weird hypothetical situation where Markelle Fultz starts over Keon Ellis and his net rating is somehow a little bit better than Malik Monk in the lineup, but then they'll say there's other people who are going to be like, Mason Jones dropped 49 points in the G League.
I mean, somebody already wanted him on the squad tonight, which is that is more understandable, right? But how do you get there? You start on the squad, and then you lose a game, and hey, you know what? What's Mason Jones doing? What does he look like at this level?
I know I'm going to open up a can of worms if I say this right now, but I'm going to 1 minute before we have to break. Is Devin Carter even on this team anymore?
I don't know. That's a great point.
Is he even on this basketball team anymore? Why are we going through every...
Why are you starting with me on the Devin Carter stuff? It has almost healed. It is almost healed.
I'm just saying.
And then I watched Dawn Connect last night, and it reopens like a wound. It just reopens over and over again.
Because he's not in the G League, but he's not even like eligible to play. I didn't even see him in garbage time the other night. Does he even play for the Kings anymore? What is happening there? I'm sorry I did this right before.
I don't know why you did this. There's still the other name that everyone, and it just came through on the text line. I can't wait to have this conversation, but we got too caught up talking about Markelle Fultz's comeback story. Can't wait for that on Disney Plus. Another name that y'all are obsessed with, and I just want to I want to know why. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, everybody. Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, sometimes you just don't want to buy brand new. I get it. I understand. Sometimes you just want to try something out. Maybe go for a lease. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the place for you. They have great lease offers starting at $297 a month. That's right, $297 a month. You know, for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the community. Whether you're buying, whether you're leasing, they're the ones you can trust. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet of lease vehicles. They have certified pre-owned vehicles as well, starting at just 3.49% on select models from 2021, 22, and 23. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Tell them your boy Drape sent you, and trust me, they'll take care of you. They're a partner you can trust. Or you can always go online at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149
for tax prep that's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
You drove the miles and your tires are done. Got to shop the best prices under the sun at Big O. Big O Tires.
Shop top brand tires with the lowest tire price guarantee now through March 16th. Get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Toyo tires with installation purchase at the Ready, Set, Save sale. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Not valid with other orders. Eligibility may vary. Excludes Nexen, Enpris AH5, and Enpris AH8 tires. Disposal fees extra and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for details.
1 ticket, 2 huge shows. The Sacramento Boat Show and the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo. Find discounts at 2hugeshows.com.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2. With 8 big fights, it's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. Thunder Showdown 2, coming March 8th to the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resorts. Fight card subject to change.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
All right, a lot of people have sniffed out the name. And it's funny that all of you, the text line is on fire right now. It's funny that all of you know who I'm talking about. Somebody guessed Isaiah Thomas. It is not Isaiah Thomas. Okay? That person is Jay Crowder. And there's about 4 texts bringing up Jay Crowder. And that's what I want to know. What is I'm telling you, because I don't read all the texts that I get. I read most of them. Obviously, the ones that are appropriate. And the SAC chat, the call line, nobody really calls in about it. But I'm telling you, at least one a day. Hey, what's up with Jay Crowder? And I'm with you. There was a time where Jay Crowder, he was a guy. He really was. But I don't know why y'all can't let go. It really bugs people that Jay Crowder is just in sweats every game. Everyone just needs a dude like that. And I think a lot of us have in our mind what Jay Crowder was, because nobody complains about Doug McDermott. Nobody says, why did we keep Doug McDermott if he doesn't play? Nobody says that. Maybe it's because Doug McDermott has actually done a couple things, right? Some random, one of them was against Denver tonight when they made a game out of it, but he hasn't done much when it matters. They both had random starts, but I'm telling you, once a show, I get a text about Jay Crowder, and I just want to know why so many people are still on what Jay Crowder was, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. Guys, gals, if he can't get on the court, he can't get on the court. But every day, there's someone out there. Why is Jay Crowder on this team? Why does it bother you? There's no one, it kind of reminds me of it's not as bad. Let me hold on. It's not as bad as the Bronny conversation, because I do think a legit player could have went in Bronny's spot. And Bronny did some things last night. So I'm not going to say it's as bad as Bronny. But whoever you're replacing Jay Crowder with, my point is not going to be doing very much. So people, it literally offends them that Jay Crowder does not play. And I don't know why.
Do you remember what an incredible time it was when Keegan Murray went down with injury. Mm-hmm. DeMar DeRozan was down with injury. And the Kings had literally no small forwards on the team.
Yeah.
So they signed Jay Crowder off the street, flew him to Minnesota. He played 27 minutes, and they won the game.
Yeah.
They won in Minnesota.
That might have been one of the most insane. That might be the most insane game. Another reason why I would much rather see Minnesota than Los Angeles at the end of it, because how you lose that game is insanity.
Yeah. Jay Crowder played 48 minutes in those 2 games when Keegan was down. It was the first one was that Minnesota game. The second was the one they lost to Portland when they decided we have to start Malik Monk after losing to Portland.
Yeah, he can't play. It's disrespectful and
he has
play him in garbage time.
He has not played 48 minutes since. Like, total, has not played 48 minutes.
And that's fine. Let him be Udonis Haslem. If a scrap, I see him cheering. He's scrapping if there's a scrap to be had. But people, we are in March, people. Jay Crowder is just there for vibes. Every team has a player like this. So
the Kings had one 2 years ago. It was Matthew Dellavedova.
You can keep texting me and asking me, but I do not lay my head on my pillow at night. Of all of the wonders that I have, and my brain is in 1,000 places at one time, I can guarantee you this much. I have spent 0% of my King's brain power thinking about Jay Crowder, and you should do the same. It's once a show. Once a show, I get a text about Jay Crowder.
Do you think that because here, Jay Crowder's at this stage of career. It's not the Udonis Haslem stage of career. It's the next year he's going to be playing overseas, and you're not going to realize he's playing overseas, but he's going to be playing overseas. We had one of those yesterday. Boban, he's in China now.
Didn't even know that.
Nope, no idea. You mentioned the Anthony Bennett return thing. Anthony Bennett plays in Taiwan now.
Good for him.
This is Matthew Dellavedova.
Good for him.
He's in Australia.
I'll tell you what, though. It was Zach on the text line bringing up Isaiah Thomas. I guess you're mad if you're Isaiah Thomas thinking, why can't that be me? Why can't I be on someone's bench?
Well, there's an answer to that. It's that you're short. He's short Doug McDermott.
So what does that matter? Are we really talking about, hey, if a scrap pops off, we can't have Isaiah Thomas on the bench. We need Jay Crowder.
No, the NBA has just decided if we're going to take a chance on someone to be the end of bench guy, we're going to do someone who's 6'8" instead of 5'8".
Yeah.
Which is not Isaiah Thomas's fault.
No, and he's somewhere, as Mason Jones is dropping 49, Isaiah Thomas, I'm telling you, right now is dropping 65 in the G League.
The other night, he just put up 29 and 10.
And it doesn't matter.
No. I'm sorry. The funny thing about the Kings, and this is, roster construction, whatever, deciding not to go over the cap. The Kings have two of them, but at least Doug McDermott plays in garbage time and hits 3-pointers now and again. The Kings have two guys that are going to be overseas next year. One is Doug and one is Jay Crowder.
Or Jay says, hey, I'm just retiring. 916-339-1140. Who would you rather have in the Jay Crowder never play spot? Would you rather have Jay Crowder and keep him and keep complaining, or would you rather have Isaiah Thomas?
I think
the OG pizza guy.
I think fans would rather. Well, I guess now I have to hit the sound.
I'm a pizza guy.
I think fans would rather have Isaiah Thomas because the thing is, this role often goes to the fan favorite team legend guy.
Let me ask you this: in a situation like today, okay, with Malik out, I know you signed Markelle Fultz and people want him to start.
I don't know where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
I'm just going to say no.
Couldn't you make the argument that on a day like today, where Malik is out, Isaiah Thomas could get some time where Jay Crowder is getting no time ever? Could you make that argument?
No, because the only reason to ever play Isaiah Thomas is at Golden One Center so he can get a round of applause. Isaiah Thomas should never play a road game. He should only play at home.
I'm telling you, I think I'm on to something.
Oh my God,
here.
wait. No, okay, I'm gonna go with this because it'd be funny. Could you imagine if they came back home and Malik is still hurt and they decided to do that experiment to overshadow De'Aaron Fox's first game back in Sacramento? If they put Isaiah Thomas in the game on the night De'Aaron Fox was supposed to return to Sacramento, oh my God, that would be the funniest thing ever. To your point, though, who cares? Like, Markelle Fultz, Isaiah Thomas, whatever. I will say, though, there are players who get their jerseys retired with organizations that play that role at the end of their careers. Now, the Kings don't have that guy, and honestly, the Kings have just been so bad for 15 years that Isaiah Thomas is the closest we're going to get to having that end-of-bench role player who everyone loves and is an organization. Like, the Thunder retired Nick Collison's jersey, and he spent the last 5 years of his career in that exact role. So I think Isaiah Thomas is just the closest the Kings have to that after 15 years, and that's why I think everyone wants Isaiah Thomas to come back, which is fine, because ultimately, that last roster spot doesn't matter. Good for Jay Crowder that he's played 48 minutes in the last 3 months, but it really doesn't matter who holds that spot.
I'm looking here. 916 says, I do love IT, but Crowder is a good mentor. Now that we have Fultz and also with Carter, Carter's somewhere. He did not play last night again with Stockton. IT is redundant. Yeah, we're just having some fun here. 916 says, it's not that we expect Jay Crowder to be that good. It's just a question as to why they signed him if he can't get garbage time. But he can get, that's my whole thing, though.
Yeah, they just choose not to.
Yeah, he can get garbage time. It's just not really necessary, right? Garbage time is mostly going to the development guys and Doug Christie and Doug McDermott, who he can get hot, and you kind of always want to keep a shooter in rhythm a little bit. Jay Crowder, there is find me who, and I'm sure you will, find me who, look up what Jay Crowder is making and find me who could be getting not legit time, but more time.
I'll tell you what he's making, the league minimum.
And back to the 916, who cares if he plays garbage time or not? It's garbage time. Who's the normal garbage time lineup? And I know it varies when Devin Carter is up or not. But who's a normal garbage time lineup?
Okay, I'll give you the garbage time lineup from the game against Dallas.
Perfect.
It was Markelle Fultz, Doug McDermott, Trey Lyles, Isaac Jones, and Skal Labissière.
That's great. Why?
Actually, I think it was Laravia. Now that I look at it, it was Laravia instead of Lyles.
Yeah. Why does he have to? What would that make you feel better if he played garbage time? Who cares?
Yeah, Markelle Fultz, Doug McDermott, Jake Laravia, Isaac Jones, and Skal Labissière is your.
All
your
of those make sense. You could throw Skal in there because he's a bit older, but he's from the G League, so get him some rhythm. Jay Crowder doesn't make sense. There's just dudes like that. But that money wasn't getting. Find me the player, and I'm legitimately asking. Find me the player who you're allocating that money to right now. And someone's going to say Boogie, I'm sure. But find me that money where that money could be allocated, and it's a better fit. Jay Crowder is a functional player. We should be actually. If Jay Crowder was playing more, you could argue that's a problem. We should be happy that you're not seeing Jay Crowder.
Well, no, it's Jay Crowder because he had to play those 2 games in November when they had literally no forwards.
If Jay Crowder was getting more time, the Kings probably aren't fighting for the 6th seed. It's probably a worse situation. I'll put it to you like that.
Or someone's gotten injured.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're seeing Jay Crowder, something has gone wrong. And that was always the plan.
Yeah, the roster spot always would have been open unless Keegan had gotten hurt in that stretch of games in November. That roster spot would probably still be open, and you could have signed whoever you wanted. And by the way, signing Isaiah Thomas to play games is what you do when you're the 12 seed and you're just trying to sell tickets the last half of the season, which no shame if you do. It would be great, but the Kings don't need that right now. Markelle Fultz is fine. Markelle Fultz could have been Isaiah Thomas.
As we go to a quick breather and come back, our Kings Nuggets preview is at 1:00, but we want to break down a little bit of this Brock Purdy situation. How much should the King, not the King, well, somebody wants Brock Purdy to start on the Kings too. How much should the Niners pay Brock Purdy? And then our Kings Nuggets preview at 1:00. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings. Or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right. For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635355.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
For 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In the shag bag, the renovation of Poppy Ridge Golf Course in Livermore, California continues on schedule for a reopening this year. Architect Jay Blasey's design assures a golf course we can look forward to playing a few months down the road. Check poppyridgegolf.ncga.org for updates. And Rod Metzler, PGA with Courseco, reports that the Campus Commons Golf Course continues to grow in after a complete redesign and is also scheduled to reopen in the next couple of months. I'm hearing a lot of talk about the nighttime crowd at the Hagen Oaks driving range with their Top Tracer technology. You'll find accomplished players alongside newbies searching for that first center of the club face experience that brings them back for more. The order of the evening is fun, so it might be worth a look. National Golf Foundation reports 45 million Americans over the age of 6 played golf both on course and off course in 2023. When can we count you on that list? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
I'm trying to look this up. So we're trying to figure out, and Brendan Nunez, obviously a huge friend of the show and Sacktown Sports, Kings insider. Brendan apparently said start Keon Ellis or Markelle Fultz, but there's a question mark. So I don't know if he's asking. I don't know what he's trying to do right now. Yeah, somebody responded, said, are we being serious right now? Someone else, come on now. Someone else, don't overthink this, guys. So we'll have to hear from Brendan if he was actually thinking about it or just, as I do, asking questions.
Okay, I've reviewed the tape, and I don't think we brought this up until the 12 o'clock hour. So Brennan might be doing this based on said Facebook post, or Brennan just had the curiosity, which, well, he's lucky I saw that after we just did that whole segment, because otherwise we would have probably, Brennan would have caught a stray.
No, Brennan, and he's going to have to defend himself anyway. They already have to defend themselves. I need to confirm the time for Roundtable tomorrow, because they can't be running scared now. They actually should hope that the Nuggets win, because then I would technically, or that the Nuggets lose, because then I would technically be wrong, because 3-1 would have been wrong, 4-0 would have been correct.
I want to play the sound of them making their predictions on the show, but I feel like they're going to get mad at us.
They might, but I don't care.
I think I might refrain. They might get actually mad if we bring that up again. We can like laugh, ha ha ha, look at optimistic Allen. If I pull the soundbite of them and play it, I think they're probably gonna
I'll probably do enough to annoy them. So let's let's stay away from that. Unless I wake up tomorrow just feeling completely
Well,
different.
I mean, they're not here yet, so I guess we could always just.
They're already 1-0. So give me your records on this 4-game stretch. So
Houston, Dallas, Denver.
Right, on the road, Houston, Dallas, Denver. No back-to-backs. I don't believe.
No.
One. I mean, I'll be the pessimist. I'll say 1-3.
Really?
I'm not gonna do
2-2 is as high as I would go, to be honest.
I mean, it doesn't seem like AD is gonna be. They said on the 20th, 2 weeks to be reevaluated. I think the AD is gonna be out on Monday, and I'm gonna go 2-2.
Okay.
I think probably 1-3. 2-2 is a possibility. I was just looking at that Dallas game just to see kind of.
There you go.
I don't know if I want to play that.
No.
I don't know.
We gotta act like look. I'm not surprised I was right. Right? You act like you've been there before. I'm not surprised. They know. They know. All right. The Niners know that they want Brock Purdy to be their quarterback of the future, but they don't know how much they want to pay him. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the situation that the Niners are in and how there are reports from Matthew Berry and others that they're not particularly close, the two camps. Now, I made some jokes about Brock Purdy loving corn and being on tractors and why a lot of people thought he was this oh gosh guy. Not to say he's not, but people want to get paid their money. If you were Brock Purdy, would you take a pay cut for what? Right? Yes, the Niners took a chance on you, but on the other side of that, you made them look good in a time where they could have looked very bad because Trey Lance is on his way out the league. And on the way, they went to a Super Bowl, and if Kyle Shanahan had known the rules, maybe they win that Super Bowl. So you're Brock Purdy's camp. I don't know how much of and to take all that away, it's do you think Tua is better than me? Do you think Trevor Lawrence is a crazy situation and a crazy contract, but do you think Trevor Lawrence is better than me? Any of these guys? I would say, look, Kyle, look, Jed, look, John. Do you guys are businessmen? Would you take a pay cut right now? And what Brock isn't going to say is that arm situation been a little interesting, which is what the Niners can maybe go back with. But there is an opportunity in a situation that the Niners can do. And I want to ask the question whether this is messed up or not, or is it just, as I just said, the business? So the Niners can go the route of Kirk Cousins back in Washington, right? And what we've seen with certain other players, regardless of position, T. Higgins might be in this situation as well. The Niners can tell Brock to take let's just say a 3-year deal worth about $45 million a year. And Brock can say no. Or they can say, hey, Brock, you can play out 2025 on your current $5.2 million deal. We can tag you for $41 million in 2026 and then tag you again for $51 million in 2027. So this is from 49ers and NFL News 24/7. They're basically saying that San Francisco has all the leverage. The only area of leverage that I see Brock Purdy having is he could call their bluff and say, hey, I'm not going to play, right? Or I'll see you. I'll take the fines. It is what it is. Then you have a situation where it's, all right, well, we're kind of doing some cleaning out anyway. And I don't really know. It would have been a better opportunity for Brock last season when they were more all in. I don't really know if the Niners are completely all in this season. So the leverage conversation, the only leverage Brock has is to hold out, and the Niners stink. And then they say, fine, we'll do the deal. And then they're in another contract dispute, which feels like they are in one each and every season. Now, some would argue that's not in Brock's character to do that. I would say people don't play about their money, okay? And the question is, even though the Niners can technically do this and let it play out and tag him twice, do the Niners, and people hate the word fair and people hate the word own in sports, or do the Niners owe it to Brock Purdy to pay him what the market says he's worth right now?
So while the 49ers, I don't feel like owe it to Brock Purdy. I think it would be counterintuitive for them to go that route, because you give a franchise tag when there's a doubt that person's going to be your quarterback long term. That's what the franchise tag is for. Franchise tag is for Kirk Cousins or weird circumstances like Dak Prescott, where they franchise tagged him, but they made it clear the entire time, no, he's going to be our quarterback long term. We're just using. He broke his leg, and they still gave him a long term contract. Right. So the franchise tag is for weird circumstances where you don't think they're your franchise quarterback. If you franchise tag, you let the doubt seep in, and if you let the doubt seep in, you poison the locker room. Because now the doubt has crept in about Brock being the franchise quarterback, and the locker room is behind Brock. So I think it would be counterintuitive for them to go the franchise tag route. And to your point about being all in, the 49ers, I think, are still all in the terms of they want to win. They're just really old. Jennifer Lee Chan was on with the afternoon show, Drive Guys, yesterday, and she brought up the point that they have 6 players who are making the highest at their position group on the 49ers roster. All those players are over 27 years old. If I remember off the top of my head, it's Kittle, it's Bosa, it's Fred Warner, it's Christian McCaffrey, it's Trent Williams, and it might be Diamador Lenore. I'm not quite sure who the last one was, but there's 6 position groups where they're paying top of the league money, and not to mention Brandon Ayuk also. So I don't think it's that they're not all in. I think they're just old. And at this point, since they've made all these commitments, you got to make the next commitment to Brock Purdy, assuming that Trent Williams isn't going to be around for the long term, or assuming maybe George Kittle isn't going to be around. Maybe George Kittle doesn't finish his career with the Niners, or maybe one of these other guys ends up going somewhere else.
Yeah, when it comes to business, and you know what's funny is Niner fans that have fought back and forth with the Nick Wrights of the world and all the Brock Purdy disrespect. It's funny how certain fans will side with players and certain fans will side with the team. Obviously, this is a 49er focused account that is pretty darn big on social media, and they're saying this is what the Niners can do. Whether they should or shouldn't do it is a different conversation. How it comes off to me is, again, I'm going to use that relationship. I don't even have a relationship comparison off the top of my head for this. What does it mean when you franchise? Is that a promise ring when you franchise tag a girlfriend or boyfriend? Is that a promise ring? Hey, we're not engaged, so there's no real commitment here. Or could it actually be, could it be an engagement in some, because you can break up an engagement. There's no money involved besides the ring, and you're still your fiance, but numbers wise, whatever it is, and as far as the state is concerned, you're 2 separate entities. You file your taxes the way you file your taxes. So if you're engaged for 3 years, the fiance might say, what are we actually doing here? And we don't even have plans to get married.
No, I think the franchise tag is the before that. It's you're having the conversation of what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then that conversation ends in a promise ring.
It's
an empty gesture of commitment, but it at least gives the person some semblance of closure, even if it's not very much.
Here's the key to my apartment. You don't have to move in, but you can come in and leave whenever you want to. That's what the Niners would be essentially telling Brock if they don't decide to pay this man. I get it. Both sides can be thankful for what each side has given them, but I feel like the right thing to do is pay Brock. We'll see what happens there. Even though franchise tagging at $51 million in 2027, it's not a terrible chunk of change. On the other side, it is time for our Kings Nuggets preview. You ready to take down the Nuggets with no Malik Monk and DeMontis Sabonis? Well, you better be. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, Then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-822-3910. That's 800-822-3910. 800-822-3910.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial. We will be with you along the entire way, and because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Spring is in the air, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
Thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations used leather for water skins, armor, and sandals. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Nature Wood Home Furnishings. Today, leather is one of nature's most luxurious products. The combination of leather with beautifully designed furniture creates an end product that adds luxury and sophistication to any room. During Nature Wood Home Furnishings leather sale, you'll find their considerable selection of leather is flexible, breathable, natural, and maybe most important, comfortable. Whether you're a relaxed contemporary kind of person or you're more classic leather, Nature Wood Home Furnishings has color choices and styles to fit your home. In fact, I doubt any store can beat Nature Wood's selection. During Nature Wood's leather sale, all leather furniture is on sale for a limited time. Sit, enjoy the comfort of leather at Nature Wood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Hey Aggie fans, Coach Les here. ESPN is coming to UC Davis this Saturday night to nationally broadcast our home finale versus UC San Diego. Let's pack the University Credit Union Center. It's an 8 p.m. tip. Come see T.Y. Johnson and all of our seniors one last time before we head to Vegas for the Big West Tournament.
Come root on the UC Davis men's basketball team this Saturday night and show the nation what Aggie Hoops is all about. Get your tickets now at UCDavisAggies.com. Go Ags.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
We have hit the 1 o'clock hour, and it is time for our Kings Nuggets preview 5-3-0 as we were having a conversation. We have plenty of NFL conversations coming up here, especially on the non-game days. 5-3-0 says, Allen, I would not pay Brock Purdy $50+ million a year. I'd rather have a roster with talent on both sides of the ball. Once you pay the quarterback that kind of money, the talent around him goes away. You can't afford everyone. Joe from the 5-3-0. Well, the question would then be, Joe from the 5-3-0. I mean, you can franchise tag him as we discussed. Would you be willing to let him walk at any point in time? Has he not done enough? Now, some quarterbacks are worth paying, right? I don't think anybody would argue that Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, that's honestly probably where it ends. Because I think there's some people that might not think Lamar is worth that money, and that's their prerogative.
That's insane.
I'm just saying. So I hear you. And even Jalen Hurts, now they won a Super Bowl, but the way the Eagles essentially, and they did it after they paid Jalen Hurts, they really extended their window, and now they pay Saquon Barkley. So it can be done, Joe from the 5-3-0. It's just a lot of things have to happen, and I think the bigger thing is, what are you doing on the defensive side of the football, right? We can joke, and a lot of people have jokes about Nick Bosa being held against the Chiefs, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but the Eagles won that game because they got after Patrick Mahomes. So we spend all this time talking about Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy. I don't know that anyone thinks of Jalen Hurts that much differently, even though he won a Super Bowl, but you had a defense that could get after Patrick Mahomes, and that's how you're able to get it done. So, and they paid Jalen Hurts too. So it can be done. It's just how you're dispersing your money. Maybe the question was whether or not, and I know, again, Eagles, really tough comparison because they also have two stud wide receivers, but maybe it was more about, we can let Brandon Ayuk walk. We like Juwan Jennings, and we like our guys. So it can be done, Joe. We know that. But now that you're here, do you want to pay Brock? That's ultimately the question. Real quick, getting back to the fun that we had in the 12 o'clock hour, and appreciate RJ on the Sack Chat as we get into this Kings Nuggets preview from RJ Alexander. And this is a name where I'm really curious when we'll stop seeing this name. From RJ, because it's not just the Kings. When I covered the Warriors, when I did Warriors radio shows, same thing. From RJ Alexander, unless we can get Dwight Howard on a minimum, there's really nobody out there I'd rather have than Jay Crowder in that roster spot. At what point, there's a list of players, okay, that fans will just always bring up. And I don't even think Dwight Howard's that egregious. I'm just having some fun. Dwight Howard, I feel like Boogie is almost gone, but Dwight Howard, Bol, who is playing on the Suns, Boogie Cousins is almost on his way out, and I don't know how many people still ask about Isaiah Thomas. But there are a group of players, and I know I'm missing some, that fans will always say, just based on name or whatever it is, go get that guy. Why isn't anyone getting X player? And Dwight Howard is still at the top of that list.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny names up and down.
That we hear, though. That we still hear.
Yeah, but Dwight Howard is the one because he's a future Hall of Famer that I think everyone brings up just first off the top of their head. But I'm going through it here, and some of these players are retired now, but these are available players who were on a team last year that are not on a team right now.
Okay, there is a fan. You name them off, and I'll tell you whether or not there is a fan out there that I've seen say, where is this guy?
All right, we'll start with Thaddeus Young.
Oh, no to Thaddeus.
No?
Thank you for your service.
No, nobody cares about Thaddeus Young at this point?
No.
All right, next up, JaVale McGee.
Yes, there is someone out there. Funny enough, I'm not even gonna lie. I have not seen any Kings fan say, why did we get rid of JaVale? Nobody asked that.
JaVale McGee.
Nobody asked that question. But I know I saw that question being asked.
They were in the summer. I don't think they're doing it much anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Danilo Gallinari.
Yes. Somebody's out there looking for Gallinari.
Probably. Gordon Hayward.
No.
He retired, so that's probably why you don't.
Did he?
Much. Yeah, he retired.
Huh.
Remember he was like on OKC weirdly last season?
Yeah, that was, and then Sam Presti came out and said, yeah, that was a miss.
Yeah, he straight up said that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Marcus Morris Sr.
Yes, because I'm that person.
Yeah, I know. Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
There are multiple people on the text line currently. Patrick Beverley.
Yes. Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
We have Mike Muscala.
No.
Justin Holiday.
No.
I think he signed with someone. Reggie Bullock?
Yes, maybe he did, but that is one of the names.
I want to say, let me just look it up real quick. No, he's available.
When he was on the Mavs, as I joke, we never saw Fred VanVleet. I haven't seen him make a three since 2019. I legitimately have never seen Reggie Bullock hit a three. I've seen him take them, but I never saw that man hit a three.
Okay, I got a good one right here that I'm sure people will talk about. TJ Warren.
Yes.
Remember in the bubble?
Hey, was he NC State? The guy can score.
He had 40 points in a game in the bubble. He had just a crazy run in the bubble.
Give me TJ Warren. Where's TJ Warren?
I need to look up that all because they made an all bubble team. I think TJ Warren might have been on the all bubble team.
Probably.
I know Damian Lillard was the bubble MVP.
Any other names? You can do your bubble search later.
The good ones are gone.
Okay.
There's Robert Covington.
Okay. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Another guy who stopped making threes in 2016.
And then the last one is PJ Tucker.
Yes. Grit. Corner threes. Doesn't he have the most corner threes in NBA history?
It's something like that. What PJ Tucker might be my favorite player in terms of like the change of the NBA, because when PJ Tucker was first drafted in 2006, this was his actual draft analysis was, and this is how much the NBA has changed. He's not an NBA player because all he does is play defense and shoots threes.
Yeah.
And now everyone wants players who play defense and shoot threes. But at the time, it was like, what use is a player that plays defense and shoots threes? That's totally worthless.
That's it. All right. I think we got the gist. And now everyone can troll us and continue to say, where is enter player? Where is Reggie Bullock?
It's even funnier than I thought before, because this was the all bubble first team in hindsight. This was after the NBA bubble first round, they named an all bubble first team, and it is the illustrious list of future Hall of Famers. That is Damian Lillard, James Harden, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, 4 future first ballot Hall of Famers, and TJ Warren. That's the all bubble first team for the rest of time.
The toughest basketball that they played. Well, we'll see how tough it is in Denver tonight for the Kings with no Malik Monk and no Domantas Sabonis. Our Kings Nuggets preview kicks off when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
When you're overwhelmed with tax debt, deciding what to do next is a true win or lose decision. You can lose your car, your paycheck, even your retirement savings. Or you can choose someone to help you win this battle with the IRS. Now is the time to tackle your tax debt, but you don't have to do it alone. Meet Priority Tax Relief, veteran-owned and the expert in tax debt resolution. Our priority is fighting for you. Our team has helped clients save millions and can reduce or even erase your tax debt. Call 800-406 800-406-1584 right now to talk to our winning team. Priority Tax Relief has a direct line to the IRS. That's right, a fast track to find out if you qualify for life-changing tax relief in just minutes. Priority Tax Relief fights to protect your money, has 5-star reviews on Google, and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Why wait? Call Priority Tax Relief for your free tax consultation. Call 800-406-1584. That's 800-406-1584. Let's make your taxes our priority. Stop your tax debt now. Call 800-406-1584.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Yeah, 916, I'm with you, but we were up against it, and I really don't want to get Kyle started on his guy, Devin Booker. Not so sure about Booker being a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a summer conversation. Let's pocket that because we have our Kings Nuggets preview to get to. And Kyle, I'm not seeing any new updates as far as Jokic is concerned. I keep checking. He's still just listed. I'm here on DraftKings, and it's still questionable. That was 2 hours ago. I haven't seen another update, so he is still questionable. And the Kings, we know, and that's why I thought it was so interesting, not trying to freak any Kings fans out, but I thought it was a little telling, right, that Malik got scratched so early for that right toe sprain. So no Malik Monk. No Domantas Sabonis, of course, and we are waiting to see who the Nuggets are going to have, who they're going to put out there tonight. They have a bit of a mini gauntlet coming up, not to disrespect the Kings, but you get to face the Kings without Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk. Maybe this is an opportunity to give Jokic some consecutive rest, and after they face the Suns, who, hey, are the Suns going to pick things up a little bit after beating the Clippers? After they face the Suns on Friday, they got some tough matchups coming up. So is there a little bit of gameplay here going on with the Nuggets, or will we see Jokic play? And same with Aaron Gordon, by the way. So both those guys pretty important to the Nuggets' success. One is infinitely important. So we will see what happens there. The Nuggets, since January 1st, have been cooking. This is what Kyle has been trying to tell us for a very long time now. They are third in offensive rating since January 1st, only behind Cleveland and OKC. They are third in net rating, third in offensive rating, 16th in defensive rating, which is much to Michael Malone's chagrin, 19-7 since January 8th, with the fourth best record in the NBA. The Lakers, the Thunder, and the Cavs all have better records. The 2025 Nuggets would have the fourth highest net rating in NBA history. Russell Westbrook, since January 1st, 13.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 48% from the field. And I think most importantly, 34% from three-point land. He has to take them, and he's making them. He'll find his spots, where you should be if you are a marginal shooter. He finds his way to the corner, which is the shortest three on the court, or you'll see him at the top of the key, right? He's not taking any crazy threes. I would argue those are the two easiest threes, in the corner or the top of the key. And that's where Russell Westbrook is making sure he finds his way. He's not taking crazy threes, off the dribble, off wings, unless he ends up with a grenade. So he's kind of found his way. 34% is more than serviceable for somebody like Westbrook and everything else that he does within the game. So, yeah, I mean, they're playing really, really well. And right now, I would assume everything continues to move. And I don't even know if all the lines are out yet with the question marks for Jokic. I think the other thing is, a lot of times these sports books have a decent idea of what's going on. So right now, Kyle, funny enough, I'm curious what this says to you. So Malik Monk, Domantas Sabonis out, right?
Right.
Aaron Gordon, Jokic, questionable.
Don't forget about Conchar.
And Conchar. The Nuggets are favored by 6. To me, this tells me that FanDuel and the betting apps, they do not think that Jokic will play, right?
Really? No.
You think there's 6?
If Jokic doesn't play, I think that spread's pretty close.
6 is decent.
No. I think 6 is saying maybe
okay, and maybe they don't know. I don't know what to do with Aaron Gordon, but Jokic with no Domantas Sabonis or Malik Monk is a -6.
Oh, I thought if Jokic is out, it was going to be like a -2. Like,
maybe you're right.
Maybe
you're right. Maybe I'm disrespecting the Kings.
Maybe I don't know what it tells me. I think if Jokic is out, it's kind of a coin toss because then they're essentially they only have 8 active players.
Okay, well I think that tells me that I don't think Jokic is playing. That tells you that the apps right now, the line,
they're hedging.
Vegas thinks that Jokic is probably playing.
I think they're hedging. Because
right there in the middle.
If Jokic and Aaron Gordon play, I feel like it'd be like 8-9 would be my guess. That would, if you hadn't told me right then, I would have. If you had me guess blind, I would have said it would have been 8 or 9.
Right.
And the fact that it's 6 makes me feel like they're hedging a little bit.
Right. We don't know if he's going to play or not.
Because if Jokic doesn't play, I think that's a coin toss game.
I do too. But I just thought that even so, Vegas would, in altitude, in Denver, Vegas would give them a little bit more than +2.
Yeah, but I also am the one who thinks the Denver Nuggets are the best team since the 2002 Lakers for some reason, you think.
No, that's not what I think. That is the truth.
I guess I'm just overrating the Denver Nuggets so much by thinking they would be an 8-point favorite against Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monkless Sacramento Kings because the Nuggets they're gonna win the championship, right? That's what you think. I think
that is what you think. What is the record? I know the Nuggets have played a couple games without Jokic, and you'll see DeAndre. Another name, funny names that are actually still on roster. Somebody else mentioned Al Horford, who is still getting legit time.
Oh yeah,
on the Celtics.
Al Horford was a rotation player on a champion.
And to that end, if Jokic doesn't play, welcome back DeAndre Jordan.
That's NBA champion DeAndre Jordan.
That's right. So DeAndre, you might see some DeAndre Jordan tonight, and I love that matchup with DeAndre Jordan and Valanciunas. I think I give Valanciunas the edge there.
Versus this stage, DeAndre Jordan. I don't even know what DeAndre Jordan does for that team other than eat minutes.
That's literally all he does.
Yeah, he's their Alex Len. I'm going to say he's their Alex Len.
He plays more than Alex Len, which is crazy.
I'll say this. Our buddy in the chat, RJ Alexander, asked earlier what Valanciunas' numbers were against Jokic. And so I looked it up, and I'll just say this. I would feel a lot better about Valanciunas versus DeAndre Jordan than against Jokic because in their entire careers, when they both have started, so Jokic starting, Valanciunas starting, they've played 18 times since 2017. So the last 8 seasons, they've played against each other 18 times. Against Valanciunas, Jokic is averaging 28.6 points, 13.2 rebounds, 10.3 assists. That's a 28.5 point triple-double on 61% shooting and 39% from the three-point line. He also has a steal and a half and a block per game. So Jokic against Valanciunas is literally like better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar statistically.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot better about their chances if Jokic doesn't play, especially against Valanciunas, who is beefy but is not a good defensive center. So
yeah, I'm looking here, and when it comes to Jokic offensively, he can be a bit confusing. And the whole thing, maybe why I disrespect the Nuggets at times, is because they just seem disengaged from time to time, and maybe they're a bit bored. You know, they didn't win the championship last season, but maybe they're a bit bored with the humdrum of the season. But that really weird game against the Lakers, I think, left a bad taste in people's mouths. It was just odd. He took 7 shots in that game. He had 12 points. After that game, he goes for 18 against Indiana. 32 was the big one against the Bucks, which they lost that game. Then after that, 23 against the Pistons and 20 against the Celtics. And again, you're dealing with Al Horford and Cornette, Luke Cornette, guys like that. So you never really know if Jokic, and he's scary from a prop talk aspect because he'll get you your triple-double, but based on his lines, is this going to be a scoring Jokic night? Is this going to be a rebounding Jokic night? Is this going to be an assist Jokic night? His numbers, not to get too much in the prop talk, are so insane that he can have a triple-double and you still get cooked. So whether he plays or not, I think to your point, Kyle, and he also balls out against Domantas Sabonis, we tend to see scoring Jokic against the Kings, which is not the Jokic that I like seeing too much.
Which is interesting because Jokic statistically is having the best season of his career, but he's also averaging more points and shot attempts than any point in his career. Like his field goal percentage is down, but he's averaging more points. So by necessity, the Nuggets are, I guess, asking him to be scoring Jokic more than in past years, but but it's also strange because this Nuggets offense is better than past Nuggets teams. If you look at offensive rating and all the nerd stats like that, I mean, this team is better than the champion Nuggets team in terms of offensive rating, but Jokic is shooting the ball more and scoring a lot more. So I guess in a weird way, the Nuggets are better when Jokic is scoring Jokic, but I guess in this equation, he also has to be literally averaging a triple-double, which he is this season.
Yeah, on the other side, what has happened these last couple matchups against the Kings? Different faces, new places, but we break down if they can right the ship tonight. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Nuggets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 6.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary. Not guaranteed.
One ticket, 2 huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too.
2 shows.
One massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show, plus the Big RV Show.
March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo.
Find discounts at
2hugeshows.com.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right? For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635355.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2. With 8 big fights, it's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. Thunder Showdown 2, coming March 8th to the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resorts. Fight card subject to change.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Kings Nuggets preview. The last two matchups against the Kings, a 130-129 Nuggets victory at Golden One Center. Nuggets shot 7 for 7 from the field in the last 4 minutes. DeMar DeRozan, that's when he ran a little bit too fast and had an opportunity to possibly win. I paused that scene after the game, and the question was, could Jokic have gotten there in time to foul him, which would have sent DeMar to the line and still given them an opportunity to win? But we'll never know, because he fumbled the basketball. And Kyle, if I'm not mistaken, was that on the stretch? The Jaden Ivey Pistons, that's part of that. Was that part of that?
I think that might have been a little bit earlier.
Okay.
But maybe that kicked off the losing streak.
The losing streak that lost Mike Brown his job. Was that part of it? It seems like it was. And if you do look back on it, you talk about game of inches, that's football. But the game of inches, if you know, the DeMar DeRozan fumble, it is part of it.
That was the first game. So the 5-game stretch was lost to Denver, lost back-to-back to the Lakers. Remember, that was when Rich Paul came to town to talk to Monty McNair. Back-to-back losses to the Lakers. That loss to Indiana where they were tied at halftime and just got raced out the building in the second half. And then the Jaden Ivey infamous 4-point play.
Wow. Yeah. A catch here by DeMar, a non-foul by Fox here, and how different this season could be. But we're going to live in this reality. And the reality is that after the Kings did lose that game, and, you know, you felt pretty good about it. Remember, no Keegan Murray in that game, and Aaron Gordon looked like Michael Jordan or prime Shaq. The Nuggets and Kings tipped off again, this time in Denver. And this is a game that the Nuggets, again, did their thing, and Nikola Jokic balled out, okay? It was possibly, Kyle said this time and time again, possibly the greatest single performance in NBA history, 35 points, 22 rebounds, 17 assists, first play, and he had that ridiculous baseball as the Kings almost made a move, right? The Kings
1.7 seconds to go, inbounds to
Kyle just had too much
fun.
fun.
He just hit an 85-footer. Oh my goodness!
Kyle was a little too quick on the trigger to play that highlight.
1.7
seconds
to go.
No. We've heard enough.
Joker, and he just hit an 85-footer.
That'll be all for now.
My.
It's I can't say enough. It might be the most amazing thing I've ever seen on a basketball court. Like live as it's happening, that Jokic shot, baseball pass from 66 feet might be the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
I can tell. I don't know if it's there for me, but I understand where you're coming from. Jokic, we talked about his battles with Jonas Valanciunas. And by the way, if you're just now joining us, we're still trying to figure out if Jokic is playing tonight. So he is questionable along with Aaron Gordon, who's been out. And yeah, I keep on refreshing X and social media. Still no word yet, but the Drive guys will definitely get word during their show.
I've got the official 100% must be true update, which is
what is that?
Aaron Gordon and Jokic prop talks are available. So I guess they know 100% before we all do.
It's only 1:30 though, because I've had that plenty of times.
I know I'm being silly.
Or
but,
my friend has had that plenty of times.
I'm being silly. It's of course we don't know yet, but
stay away.
If anyone's gonna know,
yeah,
it's the prop talkers.
Stay away, stay away. So both games really, it was 132 to 123, but in reality, that game was never really close. That was, if you remember, Doug McDermott trying to make something happen later in that game.
Teach me how to do.
Doug McDermott trying to do something later in that game, and ultimately it wasn't enough. That was when there were questions. That was, I believe, the stretch that maybe started, or it was, we just talked about this last week. It was right before the official word came out that the Kings were shopping De'Aaron.
Yeah, it was like 4 days before, because then they went to New York and they played the Knicks and Nets. I don't think it was a back-to-back, but I think they just had a stretch in New York, and then it was like after the Brooklyn game the next day was
right. By the time if you were following the East Coast trip, by the time they got to Philly from New York, that is when everything was out and things were just pretty awkward. So safe to say one team has changed a lot, the other team hasn't. And with that being said, comes new opportunity. Now, the Kings aren't going to be with all their horses with Domantas Sabonis out and Malik Monk out, but they still have an opportunity. We, again, waiting to see if Jokic and Aaron Gordon are playing. There is a level of playing with house money if Jokic and Aaron Gordon do play, and I would say a level of maybe we can sneak out of here with a W if they don't play. I don't like, and we've talked about why we don't like Nikola Jokic versus Jonas Valanciunas, but I do like Jonas Valanciunas versus DeAndre Jordan, and that is an opportunity for the Kings coming off a pretty good game with Jonas Valanciunas. So those are some of the question marks that will be answered tonight. Again, the Kings missing 2 starters. We had some fun with a couple fans wanting Markelle Fultz to start tonight. I believe it will be Keon Ellis, but honestly, you never really know. You could make the argument if the look is a more traditional point guard, you could make the argument that it's Markelle. I don't think that will happen, but I guess an argument could be made.
So I'm going to rehash the point we kind of talked about off the top of the show here, which is whatever they go defensively, they're going to be fine, right? Valanciunas isn't a great defensive center. He's actually not a good defensive center, but he's not a huge drop off from Sabonis. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, their entire, they similar styles. They'll both guard 5s. Keon or Markelle Fultz, both proven to be capable defenders. The defense, I don't think, will look all that dissimilar tonight. Offensively, I have no idea what offense they're going to run. Because as we talked about before, when they won the Rockets game, 6 different players scored 12 or more points, and no one had more than 21. Last game against the Mavericks, nobody shot more than 15 shots from the field, and 5 players had 13 or more points before they even went to garbage time. And garbage time started with like 8 minutes left in the game. So they've been offense by committee without Sabonis. If you take away Monk as that de facto point guard role, I'm just curious what the offense is going to look. Well, and Monk's scoring ability. Let's not just, he's had 29 points in the last 2 games.
Right.
I just don't know what offensively they're going to do tonight or what the game plan is going to be. I'm very curious to find out because I literally have no answers.
Yeah, and maybe they don't. Maybe it's ISO day, right? Everyone likes a beach day. When you go to the gym, hey, it's beach muscles day. You just get to do some biceps and get on out of there. Triceps, biceps, shoulders, get on out of there. It's beach bod day. Maybe that's what this is in Denver. Maybe it's, how Doug Christie gets down. Maybe, hey, let's not overthink this. We're missing 2 of our starters. We don't know if Jokic is going to play, if Aaron Gordon's going to play. We're not laying down by any sense of the imagination, but we're 3-0 on this road trip. We feel good about where we're at. Let's not try to overthink this thing. Let's do what we do. Let's get into our set. You got Jonas Valanciunas. 2 of the 2 guys that handle the offense the most are the two guys that are out tonight in Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk. So there's probably a level of, hey, I'm not going to try to implement within a couple days a completely new offense or whatever it is. Let's just operate as if we are operating when Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis are out during the game, and let's rock and roll from there. Maybe we sneak on out of there. If Jokic plays, then you're even more so playing with house money. If Jokic doesn't play, then it's, hey, I think we could go out, and they don't play defense very well. What are they, 16th in defensive rating? Let's see if we can outscore these guys and sneak out of here with a W, regardless of whether Jokic plays or not. So I don't think that, any worry about the offense. I don't think they're going to try too hard about as far as, implementing new things or who's going to run this, who's going to run that. I think it's going to be a very vibey day, and it might look clunky at times, but I think it's just going to be, hey, we're 3-0. We're trying to get out of here. 4-0 would be great, but we're already down 2 starters, so our expectations are what they are. It is next man up, but we're not going to sit there and, overload anybody trying to make up for something that we can't really make up for. That's the reality. You're not going to make up for Malik Monk's production and Domantas Sabonis' production together. Maybe you can make up for one of them. You're probably not making up for both of them. So let's bear down defensively. Let's try our best to get open shots, and hopefully the X Factor Keegan Murray can do some things as well. But pound for pound, when you look, especially if Aaron Gordon doesn't play, you got Christian Brown, who is, kind of their dog defensively. You could argue in a way kind of like their Keon Ellis. But besides that, defensively, Jamal Murray can't guard his own shadow, right? You get DeMar DeRozan, who is going to be giving somebody buckets. So I definitely think that the issue is going to be, as much as Kyle is worried about the Kings offensively, this is kind of the team to not have your best offensive studs against if you can bear down defensively. Because I'm looking here at some of the matchups. Like I said, Michael Porter Jr. doesn't really, he's not a crazy defender. I've already talked about Christian Brown. Russell Westbrook is okay defensively. They're starting Russell Westbrook right now, and whether Jokic plays or not, he's not crazy defensively. It's what he does offensively. So I definitely think they'll be able to score the basketball, even if their offense is a bit clunkier than it typically is. They're going to get looks. The question is, can you stop the Nuggets defensively? All right, Prop Talk Dog segment coming up on the other side, and we are joined by the one, the only, Whitey Gleason. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, not to be dramatic, but you should smell this. It smells so good.
Whoa, that's quite the reaction to mixing and matching Gain scents. Let's hear another from Ashley, who mixed Gain products and went,
I'm so excited.
yes, you are. What about you, Isaiah?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And Emily summed it up like so.
It is just chef's kiss.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Mix, match, more happy with Gain.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you. Full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb, expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less. And soon, one expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients at Federal Returns. Participating locations open. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Hey, Aggie fans, Coach Les here. ESPN is coming to UC Davis this Saturday night to nationally broadcast our home finale versus UC San Diego. Let's pack the University Credit Union Center. It's an 8 p.m. tip. Come see T.Y. Johnson and all of our seniors one last time before we head to Vegas for the Big West Tournament.
Come root on the UC Davis men's basketball team this Saturday night and show the nation what Aggie Hoops is all about. Get your tickets now at ucdavisaggies.com. Go Ags.
Our rivers are a part of Sacramento that we can all take pride in, but just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. Allen Stiles here from Sacktown Sports. Let's keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Learn how at BeRiverFriendly.net.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Whitey Gleason joins us to...
I'm not going after Jake Crowder, I'll tell you that.
Why? I'm not going after Jake Crowder.
I don't know why you're going after Jake Crowder.
No, I
think you missed the point, honestly. And I know you weren't going after Jake Crowder. I think you made a point. I think you missed a point, maybe not the point.
What is the point?
I think fans wonder, okay, if the guy can't play or he's not going to play, okay, then why is he on the team?
But that's what I addressed, though. I said, find me the person on that vet minimum that's given you enough minutes to not complain about it.
But if the guy cannot play, he doesn't play, and he's got that thing around his,
Well, I don't know. Is that what it is?
He has back problems or something? I don't know. But I think that's what people are wondering about. If the guy cannot play, if he just doesn't want to play or they don't want to play him, fine. If he can't play, it might be nice to have somebody else on the team.
I guess I would agree with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know.
But I think that's what people are asking. That's why they're wondering. It's like, can he play?
Nobody knows.
I don't know if people were saying, though, that he can't physically play. I hadn't considered the possibility that physically he is unable to play.
Because he has that, whatever it is, electronic stimulator around his
warm
back.
it
He's
up.
got some back problems. I don't know.
Just warm it up.
I mean, would you rather him go in for garbage time than Laravia?
Just warm it up.
I just want to know if he can play. Or if he can play and he doesn't play, that's fine.
Why don't we
if he can't play, what are we doing here?
Let's talk to the Kings.
It's not that big a deal.
We'll
but
find out
you
whether or not they can play or not. What's going on? No, that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
First home game, right? After De'Aaron's homecoming.
You know they're going to say, I mean, even if he can't play. See, I'm not trying to start a
De'Aaron's homecoming.
conspiracy.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, he's good. He's just, he's fine. He's got a few eggs and pains, but he's good. There you go.
So Whitey's in favor of waive Jay Crowder, sign Isaiah Thomas.
We know Isaiah Thomas can play.
And then for the last 2 games of the season, put him in.
My point is, I don't know that you were giving enough credit to the listeners who wonder what's going on with this guy. It's not a major thing, but I think people are just wondering, maybe I'm misreading. They're just wondering, hey, can he play?
Who cares?
I'm not that worried about it. Kings fans care about the 12th man on the team 7 years ago, Allen.
13th.
I think you care. You think Jay Crowder can help this team. You're the one on the text line.
Wrong. I'm just pointing out, I don't think you were giving some fans the credit they deserve.
I am giving credit.
I'm curious. Just want to know what's up.
It's every day.
Mm-hmm.
The one I'm curious about is Devin Carter even still on this team?
Yeah, I'd rather. Where's the
Didn't
Devin
they just
Carter?
bring him up?
Yeah, he is available tonight.
Yeah.
He did not play last night with the Stockton Kings.
Didn't need him. The Mason Jones show.
Mason Jones.
Woo!
Mason Jones.
Yeah, we're waiting for the next escalation point of people being like, you know who should start over Keon? Markelle Fultz. And then when Fultz plays kind of okay, you know who should start over Markelle Fultz? Mason Jones.
Yes. It's just, it'll never end. It'll never end. Whitey.
I hope it doesn't end. I hope fans' passion for their team doesn't end. And whether you hope it does or not, it will not.
Until they're ready to start Jake Elmore.
It probably won't. Whitey, the Athletic Power Rankings had the Kings sitting at 13.
That's Law Murray?
Law Murray.
So is that on the bubble?
Yes.
Okay.
On the bubble. And on the bubble means not to be confused with Walt Disney World, the middle of the pack. And what's funny is that whole tier, I don't know if you caught this or not when you were clearly listening, as you always do. And I listened to your show.
I had to snap it off.
That's right. No,
in
you
the middle
probably
of
did.
this Jake Crowder conversation.
The whole bubble tier.
Then I turned it back on.
Is everyone from 6 to 10 or 6 to 11 in the Western Conference? That's the whole tier.
Sure. I mean, that's what you have when you have a play-in. Because if you're in a play-in, you're almost, well, you're not literally in a bubble.
Yeah.
But that's about as bubbly as it gets.
Yeah. Right now, when we looked at the standings, right now the Kings would be the 8th seed, right? And we said if the Kings lost, and the Clippers are the 9th seed right now. So
Kings got a big helping hand from Phoenix last night.
They did.
And
I'll tell you what, and this is the whole thing with the strength of schedule thing. I don't think the Warriors get it done. I know that Steph hasn't lost in Madison Square Garden in years, but if Karl Anthony Towns plays last night, the Warriors got a break too. And Jokic might not play tonight.
I know.
And the Kings might get a break.
Aaron Gordon might not play tonight. Aaron Gordon also.
Yes,
they
Aaron
have
Gordon's
like
been on.
5 guys that are questionable.
Yeah.
And 1 guy who's out, which is your boy Strother.
Yeah, well, Strother, if he's not playing, then whether Jokic plays or not, then I think
Strother is out.
I know. The Kings have a good chance at this. So we asked the question, as the 8th seed, let's say the Kings lose the first one, they're on the road. Who would you rather play in Golden One, win or go home? Who would you rather play, meaning you feel better about it? The Timberwolves, the Timberwolves or the Clippers?
Clippers.
Really? I said the Timberwolves. They do not fare well against the Clippers. I don't know why.
I think the Clippers are starting to unravel a little.
Mm-hmm.
I think we saw it last night. Minnesota, there's something called the primacy effect. You see some first thing you see and it burns into your brain. Opening night was a tough night here. Minnesota's I know the Kings have had their way with them. You guys mentioned today that big win when, who was it? Keegan Murray was out and who else was out?
I think it was DeRozan.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
and
I have a lot of respect for Minnesota when they're playing well.
I thought you were going with who started that game. Jay Crowder.
Yeah, see, it all comes back.
Yeah, and you know what?
It all comes back around.
I want to see him. All right, let's get to a little bit of prop talk here.
Drop.
All right, let's do this. No Malik Monk, no DeMontis Sabonis, which means this is kind of a shot in the dark tonight. I mean, the easiest thing is they've bumped up DeMar DeRozan to 23.5. I would imagine Zach LaVine is going to get bumped too. Look, I'm going to go here, Kyle. I'm going to keep it quick. Yeah, they got Zach LaVine at 25 points. That's a little rich for my blood, but he could easily get it done. I'm actually going to go with a guy who scored 0 points, and I'm going to take the lower number for a bounce-back situation with no Malik because I don't believe Markelle Fultz will be starting. Give me Keon Ellis, points, rebounds, assists at 15.5.
I really just be chilling for real.
You want a friendly tip?
Okay.
Okay, figure out who Jamal Murray's guarding and go with that person.
Oh, that's a good point.
Jamal Murray is one of 9 players in the league with 900 or more shot attempts defended this season. That's because teams attack him.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to be – they're not going to have him on DeRozan or Levine. They're going to hide him on Keon Ellis. So that helps.
So
I already knew that. I was already – that was my whole thing.
Oh, very, very well played. Yeah. Way ahead of me.
No, Markelle Fultz you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
You're not going to believe this, Alan. You and I were going in the same direction.
I really just be chilling for real.
We had the same idea because it's a real shot in the dark night. You know who had a lot of shots in the last game? Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
You know how many went in? None of them. So I'm just going to do the points. I was going to say 9.5 points. We mentioned the stats earlier. 6 Kings scored in double figures against Houston. 5 players had 13 or more against Dallas. If the Kings are going to win without Domantas Sabonis on offense, someone named Keon Ellis or Jake LaRavia or Markelle Fultz or Trey Lyles is going to have double digits, and I can't take props on any of those other people.
There you go. I'm looking at some of the others just to evenly disperse it, just in case you're curious. It gets real dicey with Jonas Valanciunas because he is set at 30.5 points, rebounds, assists. You're probably hitting if DeAndre Jordan plays. If Jokic starts, they're probably not getting it.
Can I actually redact my prop talk here? I just realized they have Trey Lyles props on here. So you know what? Trey Lyles, 7.5.
Points.
Just points. I just assumed they would not have Trey Lyles.
There you go. So I will keep Keon at 15.5. Kyle moves over to Trey Lyles. And obviously with the rebounds missing from Domantas Sabonis, you can decide to try to get those with, I would say, Keegan Murray or with with Jonas Valanciunas. All right, Kyle, real quick. Dog segment.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Gotta go quick here for dog segment. I'm going to go with my guy after he made a couple threes last game. He's going to keep heating up on a day where they need offense. Give me Jake LaRavia. The first cut's the deepest, baby.
Yeah, Jake LaRavia. He can do everything except score.
All right. Who is your dog?
Real simple tonight. The doggiest dog of all the dogs, my favorite Sacramento King, Keegan
Murray. All right, Kyle's got Keegan Murray. Whitey, who's your dog tonight?
Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles for Whitey. The line is still
movement.
The line is still 6. We don't know if Jokic and Aaron Gordon are playing or not. You know what? I don't care. Give me the Kings to cover and give me the Kings to win. 4-0 road trip, baby. Got to get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. The Drive Guys are up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Great job, Kyle. Great job. All the callers, sexers, sack chatters. Until tomorrow. Get it back. Let it be. I got 1, 2, 3 wins on the road. The Kings going 3-1. Going 3-1. Maybe 4-0. Kyle don't say so. He loves the Nuggets, but they trash though.
Gotta go.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different?